Mhm.
Door fans.
I was just advised by Bob to take my pants off. So, hello everyone. How's it going? Um, the tweet is already live. Do me a favor, go give it some love. And let's see here. Got today's artwork ready for y'all. And we should be good to go. Did I see Invincible? Prophet told me I did not see it though. So if someone throws me a link, I can definitely watch it with y'all. But well, no, I can't because we're live on YouTube. So that would cause problems for the entire rest of the stream. But here's today's artwork. Again, as usual, go give the artist some love. Hello, Weiss. How's it going? Today on the docket, obviously, we've got FGO and Yakuza. But today we also had the Xbox conference, which I'm told was at least a big, like, nothing burger, which is really interesting. That essentially we had all these internet rumors and stuff like flying off the wall, kind of saying like, oh, like Xbox is bringing all their games to PlayStation. They're like no longer going to make a console. Like even stuff like Starfield that they had said was going to be exclusive is going to end up coming. And at least as of today, that a lot of that looked to be at least an over exaggeration or an overstatement by people. Could have been an email. Yeah. In that regard, like they definitely had to address it at this point, but I saw a bunch of people saying that like, oh, well, they mismanaged the announcement and stuff like that. And I'm like, did they though? Because like it's kind of interesting in that regard from the simple standpoint of like they at least had all eyes on them. Like everyone was like waiting to see what is this big announcement that they're going to make. And in the end, they just announced that they're bringing 4 of their games to other consoles, including PlayStation and potentially Nintendo Switch. So it's like, it really wasn't that big of a deal. It wasn't like it was their whole catalog. It wasn't like they were not making exclusives anymore. It wasn't like they were basically not going to like produce a console or anything like that. In fact, I believe Phil Spencer even reaffirmed that he was basically going to continue his commitment to the hardware side of things. So again, I find it really interesting, at least, that it seems like the whole community really just like over exaggerated this. Turn inside out and spew rainbows from his ears. Yeah, like I mean, I'm gonna say this, right? At the end of the day, as interesting and intriguing as I find it, I do think that this is something that they've been planning for a long time. That is to say, I've heard a lot of people say like, "Oh, this is like a new strategy for them," and it's like, it's not. We've already known this for years at this point, that Xbox is definitely like shifting more away from exclusive titles and more towards things like Game Pass, and trying to make Game Pass more of an IP at this point. We do know as well that there's at least some signs from the Activision merger and then the subsequent layoffs that they're probably done selling physical sales of their like games going into the future, which means that like future consoles and stuff like that for Xbox will probably be digital only. That should be apparent to everybody, as the same thing has kind of happened at this point on the PlayStation 5 side of things. Even with the Nintendo Switch, most people buy their games digitally now. And so, while I don't think it's the best idea to get rid of the possibility of physical sales, it is certainly the predominant case at this point that the majority of people are buying digitally. So I think they're going to try to move towards that, and you're going to see them kind of get away from anything actually physical. You might still see stuff like collector's editions and such, because I think that just makes them a lot of money. So they're never like going to stop doing stuff like that. So it's not that you won't have the capability of buying, say, a physical edition, but that it's probably going to be in rare select cases of where like people actually care. And honestly, the entire like distribution and logistics modeling on all of that will probably just function through other retailers. So like Walmart, Target, Best Buy, you name it. They're probably just going to sell at those retailers and use their supply chains rather than have to, basically navigate any of this themselves. So as a result, I think you're going to kind of see the gaming industry pretty much consolidate around digital only into the future, which is sad. Like I said, I would hope that we weren't headed towards that, but we clearly appear to be. What's up, one? Can't wait for all the lost media. Yeah, like at the end of the day, it's going to become even more apparent that like we need much more protection in the consumer rights side of things. That a lot of these tech companies nowadays are trying to like just see just how far they can push. Again, we've had a lot of talks about both on the anime side of things and even the PlayStation side of things about like what happens when your rights expire to something that you thought you had purchased, and that if it's only in digital format, that essentially it's gone and there's no capability to preserve that, and thus the company is able to take it away from you, and simultaneously you're also like not actually capable of owning it. And then comes the idea of like, oh, well, they just were selling the rights to it. And it's like, yes, but then that is a rental, not an actual purchase. And it needs to be classified as such. And that they would need to be able to like be legally liable if they try to hide that. And at the end of the day, I think it's less on them and more that they never thought that they would run into this problem, to this issue. But it seems pretty obvious, as people have warned about it for years. So to me, I think if they're going to sell digital only versions, they need to allow you to have some capability to download, particularly if it's a rights issue that it could be taken away at any point in the future. So I think it's like, imagine you buy a movie or something like that on Amazon Prime, on PlayStation Network, you name it, right? Like, it should be the case of once you've purchased it, you have the ability to actually extract the physical file and have ownership of it, rather than, oh, it's only hosted through our service and at any given moment your access to said service could be revoked, or your access to the media on the service could be revoked. If either one of those things are true, you don't truly own it. And as a result, to me, it needs to be classified completely differently. So I think that's a huge issue at this point, and definitely something that that needs to be said and fought over at this point. If it's a rental, it should be priced as a rental. Yep, I agree. But that's kind of why they don't want that. They don't want to call it a rental, right? Because to them, it's more like short-term versus long-term renting, but at the same time, it's still renting. I got my Blu-ray for Shin Godzilla. Yeah, and I think at least amongst like collectors and enthusiasts, you'll always see the desire to have physical copies. But I definitely hope that the gaming community begins to stand up a little bit more for itself and demand change. It's something that I think even if it might not impact our generation of gamers too much, it's certainly going to impact the future generations of gamers. And most of them at this point are probably too young to realize that this is going to become an abuse and going to become an exploit that is kind of used against them if they don't have these rights. So it's important to kind of like set up the future generations so that they're well taken care of too. Because it's also good from a preservation standpoint. Like people have denoted as well, we already see games that are kind of vaporwared by the various consoles and stuff like that, where they don't re-release it. It's not backwards compatible for whatever reason, and then as a result, you can't play it outside of anywhere on an other than an emulator. And then what we've started to see as well now is these sort of re-releases where it's like, oh, well, you can play it, just subscribe to our service. And it's like, no, I already purchased it. I already own it. I should not have to basically go through this stuff. And I've seen a lot of people fight over this and say like, well, do you think you deserve the right to own it in perpetuity? And it's like, yes, I do. In the same way that I own this cup, and the same way that I own this microphone, and the same way that I own this table that my computer is sitting on. Yes, I expect that I have perpetual ownership. Pending debt collectors and things like that coming and trying to seize my assets, I think it is absolutely within my right to own. And there should be no real issue with having the ability to continue to play it. So I don't really understand why people seem to like come down on the side of the gaming companies in that regard. I understand that the gaming companies want to keep monetizing their past works. But the reality there is it's just perpetual greed, and it's just making them lazier and more bloated in effect with how they approach trying to appease their consumers. We become more of a means to their money, or rather an obstacle to their money as they view it. That is to say, they view all of the money in your wallet as theirs. And so as a result, you're just an obstacle that they have to go around in order to get to it. And that's kind of the problem, right? Like they need to actually instead start thinking about the consumer and how they can best appease the consumer rather than how they can best appease the shareholder. Usually appeasing the consumer will also appease the shareholder, but usually just trying to appease the shareholder will not necessarily appease the consumer. And so it's not a good idea, in my opinion. Also, thank you guys to those of you guys that resubbed yesterday towards the end. My copy of SMB1 on the NES still works. Yep. Yeah, it's like as long as you still have the old systems, they still work. But we also see where like technology is advancing. Obviously, modern day TVs and stuff like that don't have the plugs necessary to be able to run those old devices. And so as a result, you have to buy adapters and such. And those will become harder and harder probably to come by over time. But I'll never understand people simping for corporations. I mean, I can at least, as somebody that, deals with a lot of business aspected stuff as part of my job, as well as somebody who is part of a family owned business, I can at least speak to the corporate side of things and understand like their desire for monetization and continuing to earn revenue and stuff like that. But I think there's a fine line, and there's definitely something where we have to stand back and say, like, is the corporation doing something scummy here? Are they doing something untoward, something that actually hurts their consumers? So I think, again, as a company, it's in your best interest to not only sell a good product, but also to like maintain a good relationship with your customers. If games are art pieces, they ought to be preservable like art. Yeah, to a degree, right? If the consumer still pays for it, they don't need to change anything. Exactly. It's about what's fair and just, not really about corporations versus consumers. Yep, I agree with that. Hello, Gark. How are you? I'm flying through Lost Belts to save up for Arjuna Altar. Nice. I'm doing pretty good. Work has calmed down a little bit now that we're post deadline. So, and I say post deadline, I still have 2 more deadlines, chat. I have now made it through a month of tax season. There's still 2 more months. So like it's not good in that regard, but like hey, I'm a third of the way there, I guess is the way I look at it. So I only got to suffer through this for another 2 more months. Space Cowboy, they give me the 8 months. Deadline just won't die, yeah. But so like that took a little bit of a load off. Now I can focus a little bit more on some of the future tasks that I have at work. How do you feel about future tech companies make devices that are just cloud-based access device? So I've been talking with Prophet about that a lot because he's been saying that he really feels like the future is in cloud. I'm going to tell you this flat out. While I do think that they want to go towards cloud-based stuff, cloud-based stuff will perpetually just not be a thing for 2 reasons. One is the dominance of PC in and of itself, and the other is the relative lack of the American internet infrastructure. So cloud is always going to be somewhat difficult to operate when your net is just trash, and there are plenty of people that have shitty net in various parts of the world. Also, this is already an issue as we have more and more games trying to go to this like games as a service, always online mentality. So you see a lot of like people complaining and just wanted to go back to the old ways. I am going to say I expect this to be a little bit more of an ebb and flow for a while, where you're going to see periods where a ton of games are like this, and then periods where a ton of games aren't like this, as there's sort of this whiplash to sort of like respond to consumer demand. And you know, you'll naturally see some games just have terrible launches because of their always online requirements, and that's going to cause people in the industry, I think, to think twice about it. But I do think eventually, in a long period down the road, you will see them actually be able to operate and migrate towards cloud services dominantly. I just don't see it coming in the short term, despite what everybody in the industry tries to say, because there's just hurdles that need to be overcome for that to be true. If they try to do things like that, we've already seen this with stuff like Google Stadia. So if you guys remember, they have done plenty of cloud-based services up until this point, and every stinking one of them has failed. And I'm not talking about cloud with regards to stuff like business, right? We already know that people are using cloud quite successfully in that regard. I'm talking about specifically for video games, where latency is a huge issue, reaction time is a huge issue, and naturally, people don't want to have to sit there and treat their hobby as a service. So what do I mean by that? I mean, literally, when we had popular releases that have come out, people complained about on Stadia having to wait in a queue to be able to play their game. We're not talking about a queue to log into the server of like World of Warcraft to be able to play. We're talking about a queue to be able to log in to be able to play any game. So that definitely sucks. It's like, imagine you tried to turn on your computer and there was a queue and you couldn't get in until the internet decided to allow you to. That's not good, right? Like, so again, until things like that are resolved, absolutely not going to be a thing. I don't think anyone and their brother will wait for that, other than people who quote unquote have to. They will have to find a means by which of offering the service much cheaper than the cost of a PC, much cheaper than the cost of a console, and that's a rough road to hoe, I think. I'm not going to say eventually that they couldn't go to that point, right? But as far as I'm concerned right now, the technology is not there in spite of what they claim. No wonder vintage games are going up in price. Yeah, and I do think that too. Like, I've talked about this before because I see plenty of people that try to like defend the gaming companies raising prices, going, well, you know, they hadn't raised it in a long time, and they have like basically these increased costs of development. And I'm like, okay, let's talk about that, because there's a couple things going on with this. The first is that you essentially have this idea in video gaming that you have to do more, that you have to make your game bigger, better, more like bells and whistles, more high quality graphics and textures, and that everything must be more. And then we look and we have successes like Pal World. And while I know a lot of people are going to sit there and be like, oh, well, that's largely because of their, tapping of the Pokemon IP and its popularity. And it's like, okay, you're right in that regard. But there have also been plenty of other small indie games that have done very successful numbers on much smaller budgets than the AAAs. And in fact, we're kind of seeing this at least mentality shift amongst the consumer, amongst the video game player, that indie companies are now considered to be better than the AAA companies. And the reason for this is because we've had so many successes in the indie side of things and so many failures in the AAA side of things of late. So a lot of people are beginning to change their mentality of how they think about what constitutes a good video game and what constitutes success. And so in the eyes of the AAA developer and producer, they still want to throw in all the bells and whistles, but it doesn't necessarily result in a better product. And the issue here is because they're designing everything for games as a service model, everything for perpetual and repeated consistent revenue. They just want to be able to keep the lights on in their big bloated company, and that's kind of causing them issues. Whereas the indie company just is trying to make the best product that they can and trying to do it all on a budget, which is usually resulting in a much more focused and ironically enough, quality environment. So it's really interesting to see as we look at kind of how the gaming sphere is evolving in that regard. So I do think you could kind of see a lot of these games sort of shifting their focus in that regard. But I'm going to say at the end of the day that like more money, more manpower does not necessarily equate into a better game. So it's a part that I think the formula is just incorrect on at this point, right? And so a lot of people are saying like, oh, well, that's why they have to charge more, is because the cost of producing a game is more expensive, to which I call bullshit. The cost of producing a game is not more expensive. The cost of producing the big live service corporate game that only corporate wants to make is getting more expensive. And that is not our problem, because that's mostly what none of us want. Most of us end up wanting just a good experience. It's nice to have some live service stuff to keep you interested, but at the end of the day, people don't care. They just want to have fun. And that is an integral part to gaming that it seems like is lost on the other side of things. So I'm going to say at that point, you can at least claim that the cost of gaming rising is somewhat dubious. It is there. It's definitely rising. Whether or not it's actually essential for these companies to pay for these things, I think is the bigger debate. Now, we also have the mentality of like, oh, well, they haven't increased prices in a long time. And you know what? That's true. But now I want you guys to ask yourself this. At any point, were these video game making producers making less money? Seriously. Were they ever making less money? Was there ever a point where they're like, oh man, fuck, we're losing our ass here, we're going to have to shut down? Like, we've definitely seen individual studios this happen to. We've definitely seen them get shuttered after like a game failed or something like that on them. But the fact of the matter is, when it comes to the publishers and big major producers, they're raking in the dough and they keep claiming record profits year after year after year. Why is that? One, because they're monetizing more and more of their games. It's very rare that you get and I'm going to use From Software as an example here, the DLC free, just the game is as is, feature complete, on release, the price that you pay is what you get type of game release anymore. The fact of the matter is we are getting far more monetization via battle passes, via microtransactions, via DLC, expansions, you name it. And these companies are milking us for even more and more and more. The fact is here that the cost of a game is absolutely astronomically risen over the years. The base cost hasn't. Everything else an attachment to it has. And we haven't seen, as they've upped the price to $70 now, that any of that has gone down. It's not like, oh, well, this was meant to float them. No, it's just piggybacked right on top of everything else, and they're just taking more. The other issue with this is, and I think this is something that is like easily obvious to point out once you realize it, that while yes, over time, inflation sets in, the cost of games and labor and all this gets more expensive. There's also a flip side to this. The amount of gamers increases, the population goes up, the more people that are actually out there to buy your product. This is why you keep having record numbers. It's increased levels of monetization and increased population of gamers. Especially during the COVID era, we had an absolute boom in terms of gamers. So to see them kind of try to like turn around and justify the increased cost, it doesn't make any sense at all. Yes, the games might cost more to actually like make if they try to like go all out on them. But also that just means they're appealing to even more people and they're selling even more of the game, thus making it worth. So yeah, there's a higher risk inherent in, the cost of the game going up. If they fail, it hurts even more. But also the potential gains are exponentially more. So this is really stupid. And it's why, like I said, I just completely disagree. I don't think there's any merit to this argument that the price of games had to go up. The price of games has been going up every single year as each one of these companies keeps finding new ways to milk their players for even more. Again, this is literally where gacha games come from. We suddenly realized somewhere back in the early 2000s that like, wait, what if we took the entire gachapon system and made it into a mobile game? How much money could we make if we did this? And then they do that. They're like, holy shit, we're now billionaires. I'm going to do it again. And that's exactly what keeps happening. You heard about the game EA apparently spent 125 million on and no one bought? I mean, which one? I feel like that's every EA game. But yeah, so like, again, just that was kind of my thoughts on that. What did I miss from Xbox? They just announced that they're bringing 4 of their games to a bunch of other platforms. So it was actually a big nothing burger. But that has been what has spawned this entire conversation. Oh, Immortals of Avernum. Yeah. So I read an article about that, and they were trying to allege that the reason Immortals of Avernum failed is because you can't make a single player shooter in the modern era. Like in current year, you can't make a single player shooter and it be successful. Which is like fucking hilarious because it means that they've never heard of like the Metro series or like God, what was the other one that I remembered someone saying? But yeah, like there's numerous other examples of like good single player shooters that have succeeded. So yeah, Doom Eternal is another example. And it's like, okay, well, maybe it's relying on the nostalgia of a pre-existing IP. Sure. But it had to start somewhere, and you can definitely start a new IP. I'm going to tell you guys right now the issue with Immortals of Avernum. 2 things. One, I saw the price that EA charged for the advertising and the producing, and it was terrible. It was literally half the cost of the game is how much EA charged in order to produce and distribute the game. Chat, did any of you guys see advertisements for Immortals? I remember I did, only at the Game Awards and literally nowhere else. So they charged an arm and a leg to advertise the game. EA was just making bank on this. They were hoping to get a huge return on their investment. And then basically the other flip side here is that the problem with Immortals, as is not that it was a new IP. It's that the IP was fucking weird. I don't know if you guys remember, this was this like first person thing where like the dude had his like arm always on screen and it had like a magic thing on it and it just looked all fucky and weird. Like, that's Immortals. It's stupid. Like the game from the outset, from its initial like appearance and advertisement, just looked bad and weird. That was the problem with it. So, like, I understand, but if they thought this was like, oh, well, the problem is because it's a single player shooter game, it's like, no. The problem is you made something that's like just really outlandish, and as a result, it probably only had a bunch of niche people interested in it. It was just not a game made with broad appeal. And, you don't have to tell anyone in the gaming industry what broad appeal means. They all know, they all have their surveys and their market studies. They have seen plenty of times where games succeeded and failed, right? This is why a game like Call of Duty, okay, or Halo have broad appeal. It's because they're just military like shooters. We already know that is a recipe for success. So when you do something not that, you understand that it's probably going to have a narrower focus in that regard. So again, you could make it something that's actually highly successful and popular and pop off, but there's no guarantee that it will. And so you understand whenever you do that, that you're taking an inherent risk. So to me, it's not that you can't make a good first-person shooter. It's that you just took a risk and it didn't pay off. That's all it is. Wasn't it EA that tried to claim that previously that single-player games were dead? Yes, and EA absolutely like has no fucking clue in that regard. And the whole reason EA wants single-player games to be dead, okay, chat, they can't make more money off a single player game. That's the issue. They can't live service it. They can't sit there and load it up with all these microtransactions. And the reason why is because you have no one to show it off to. And so as a result, they can't monetize it more beyond the initial box cost. And as a result, they go, oh, well, shit. This sucks. We don't have any upwards capability of making more money off of this. At this point, EA should just shut up and quietly keep milking their sports, not gacha games. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm sorry, chat. But we're at this point where, like, EA, 20 years ago now at this point, 20 years ago, developed a horrid reputation as the worst publisher and producer in the business, as somebody that just destroyed games. They've since moved on and gotten rid of that shit-ass CEO that made all those decisions. Not that long ago, but still, they've moved on. But it's pretty clear that the problem is the company itself. EA is just not capable of making good games. And if a good game comes out of EA, it seems to be more in spite of EA rather than because of EA. That is to say, it's the studio that decided to make a good game and basically buck whatever stupid bullshit EA was trying to pull and managed to get it out the door intact, rather than, oh, EA, helped them make a good game, right? I won't forgive them for destroying Command and Conquer, same. Hellfire, thank you for the 30. And Ein, thank you for the 14. Sorry, I didn't see it. Here for Booba and Doji emotes, yes. If Respawn wasn't owned by EA, it would just be completely written off the company a long time ago. Yeah, and like I've heard people say like, oh, you have to give EA credit for Respawn. No, we don't. And you want to know why, chat? It's very publicly documented that Respawn, when it came over, signed a deal with EA that basically was hands off. EA is not allowed to interfere in their studio. They have like full creative control over their IPs and projects. So it's has nothing to do with EA. EA gets no credit for it in that sense because EA has no hand in it. If EA had their way, every single one of Respawn's games would turn to trash, and you know it. So that's kind of the issue there. EA ruining everything BioWare made? Yeah, that's probably the one I won't forgive them for, because there was a point in time where BioWare was my favorite studio, and I'm so sad to see where they've ended up. AK, thank you for the 31. We love playing half-baked games, said no one ever. Yeah. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I think there's always some diamonds in the rough, right? But, like, EA isn't a diamond in the rough. EA is just a polished turd every time. And we know it. EA likes to monetize everything. Yep. Yeah, and then I've heard people say like, "Oh, well, they got it right with the Battlefront series finally," and it's like, yes, they got it right with the Battlefront series after they got it wrong twice, and then basically the fans screamed at them enough that they finally backpedaled, and they actually let the developers do their jobs. It had nothing to do with EA again. EA was actually the problem, and they wouldn't get out of the developers' way from making Battlefront a good game. The BioWare magic was corrupted by corporations. Yeah, and I mean, I could say this. Part of the blame lies on BioWare, because by all accounts, the issue, like the very first problem with BioWare happened when the sale occurred, and the owners, who were also like the creative leads for the studio, decided to take their money and cut and run. They did not involve themselves with the studio evermore after that point. So that was kind of the problem, is once they were gone, there was no leadership at the studio, and BioWare just like at that point just ate itself. And we know this because of basically investigative reporting that found out that the studios apparently all fight amongst themselves, like all of BioWare's various studios. They compete with each other, they sabotage each other, and it's like, it's wild that this is actually a case. Andromeda made me so sad. I've heard that like nowadays Andromeda is at least like okay, but I don't know. Like, to me, I don't really want to give them the money. I have a friend that used to work at BioWare. Yeah, like it's really sad too, because like we've seen is like they've finally at this point gotten rid of just about all of the old guard. Like there's almost no one left at BioWare that was there in their glory days. They apparently with Dragon Age 4 that's currently in production, during this last round of layoffs, they finally laid off the last of the like senior writers that were still around during the inception of it. So it's like I have no hope for Dragon Age 4. Like I hope it's good in that regard, but I don't expect it to be. I expect it to be bad. And I hope to be pleasantly surprised. I'm scared for that series. And that series, as far as I'm concerned, is probably just dead. And it sucks because I loved the Dragon Age series. Like the first game is one of my favorite games of all time, storytelling wise. And I think it's I think it really just needs to return to its roots. And I've said this before, chat. Like, you have to know just how much like the BioWare old guard is simultaneously like kicking themselves and also like crying tears of joy, because they got to watch Baldur's Gate 3 get recognized, get super popular, and win Game of the Year. And BioWare basically was the original creator of the first two Baldur's Gates and made its spiritual successor in Dragon Age Origins. So if they had kept on that path with Dragon Age Origins, they would have been celebrated and hailed as the same thing. They would have basically been where Larian is, winning Game of the Years, everybody looking forward to the next release. And so it's like I said, they have to be kicking themselves that they're not that, but also at the same time, they have to be like just crying tears of joy that at least somebody carried on their legacy, right? Like it may not be them, but at least that sort of mentality and design choice in games got carried on by someone else. So and like I said, I think it's wild because the people that are actually still there working, they have to know that like, oh, this is what our series used to be, and now I'm working on this like shitty God of War clone that like practically nobody is going to want to play because it's going to be trash. So I think at that point, like they have to like be super like the people that are still there have to be like super depressed at this point. I don't blame the developers. Yeah, like I said, I think like obviously there's like developer heads and stuff, but still their job is on the line with regards to like dealing with the publisher and stuff. So Sorry, not the publisher, the producer, right? Like, I keep using the terms interchangeably, but they're not. The publisher is who brings it to market. The producer is who funds it, and in a lot of cases, they are the same. Like the same company will handle both roles, but basically, you are absolutely unequivocally beholden to your producer. If your producer says you're not putting that in your game, you're not putting it in your game, and the reason why is because if you try to do it and it goes against the producer's wishes, congratulations, you don't have money. Which means nobody's getting paid. How did Larian get the Baldur's Gate IP then? Yeah, they actually had to pay Wizards of the Coast, which is wild, right? Like, Wizards basically didn't front them the money, and as a result, didn't get like nearly as much of the profit from it, which is hilarious to me. The management is what destroys the creativity. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, right? Management is also stuck making tough choices. I get that, right? Like, I can at least understand this from the management side of things, but I'm talking about the higher ups. I'm talking about those who lord over management, right? The managers of the managers. That's kind of where the problem is. But like, I think this is a well-documented issue, is that in video gaming, especially to try and meet deadlines, you start out with all these ideas, all these things on the table that you want to put in the game that would be so fun and so cool and so awesome. But then by the time the game is released, you have cut off so many of those things because they either were not actually possible to be done, or they just like did not have the time to actually fit it in. And it became well, do we put option A or option B in? And it, just boiled down to like, you can only have one. So I think this happens all the time in video gaming. I think it's a sad state of affairs that it does, but it is sort of the nature of the beast. Like, the game must be eventually produced. Oh, I'm sure they get some money, Sandman, but just probably not nearly as much as they would have had they actually fronted all the money. Yeah, Larian has gone on the record numerous times. I see them as a husk. Oh, they definitely are. They're like, it's basically like a sock puppet, and the hand in the sock puppet is EA, like straight up. The BioWare studio behind ME3 multiplayer online. Yeah, I mean, Edmonton is their like most prestigious studio as far as I understand. But yeah, it's definitely sad. I saw the robot girl from Atomic Hearts 100 times to every time I was made aware of this game from ever EA existed. Yeah. But yeah, I think Edmonton is BioWare's original studio, right? Like, but yeah, it's sad. It should not have been that way, because to me, like, BioWare had such great like writing capacity. I was actually watching a video of a guy that went back to play Star Wars: The Old Republic, the MMO. He played it like literally like 2 months ago for the first time ever. He's like, I think he's a guy, he just like goes into like all the MMOs now and plays them all. And so I was curious and I clicked on it just to see like, okay, well, how is the MMO doing now in the eyes of like a new player? And he had a blast with it. And like, obviously he had problems, but like the biggest thing that he highlighted is like, oh man, like it may have the best story out of any MMO, like just straight up. And I'm like, yeah, it's BioWare's writing. BioWare knew how to write. That's always been their strength. They've always had amazing stories. And then like you just watch all that shit get flushed down the drain, basically. And it's sad. Josh Strife? No. There's a guy called Waydot, I think. Hopefully this makes way for new studios with better creativity. Yeah, I mean, I said this, like, I'm sure some of the BioWare people after getting laid off this last time retired, but like, Holy crap, dude. Like, if any studio picks up those BioWare writers, it's like they just struck gold, right? Like, if I were a studio and I saw the BioWare writer get fired, I'd be like, yo, how you doing? Like immediately. I would be just like sending them direct messages, texting them, doing whatever the fuck I can. I'd be like, yeah, come here. Come right for us. I How much you want? Cool. That's enough. Just from the simple like experience factor of it. Your boss is like, hire that man, yeah. Like, oh hey, hold on. Let me fire the other writer sitting here right next to me just so you can come in. I'm pretty sure that some old Obsidian BioWare guys are starting a studio. Yeah, you know, it's wild because I've heard a lot of people say good things about Obsidian as well. The thing people got to understand is like most of the people at Obsidian nowadays are not the like original Obsidian crew. So it's the same sort of problem. It's like Obsidian is kind of this like legendary studio in their own right, but like most of those people aren't the same, sadly. The concept was there. Sorry for what? Star Wars: The Old Republic. I loved the Old Republic, but it I only ended up, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I only ended up playing it for about 3 months. Like it had no end game, and that was basically why I quit it. And I've heard still to this day it's somewhat struggling in that regard. Oh, Andromeda, I got you. You want people to study under the old guard before they retire? Yeah, if possible, but I think it sadly just doesn't work out that way a bunch. What's up, Presidente? How you doing? I'm getting deja vu. Yeah, I think Bob tried it again. The execution of it was just a letdown. Well, and I'm going to say this, okay? Chat, hear me out on this. I believe that the Mass Effect community was way too harsh on Andromeda simply because it didn't include Commander Shepard. Okay? That being said, from everything I have heard from people that have played it, Andromeda was still underbaked. Like it still was not a good game. So it's like I feel like it never had a chance because of the Mass Effect community, but I feel like at the same time it didn't matter because the devs didn't make a good game. Its release is like a third done. Yeah. Like hear me out. I'm definitely agreeing with you guys in that point, but I'm also saying that like even if the game was a 10 out of 10, people would have vilified it. Nobody likes gooey biscuits. Yeah. We just missed a chance on being something other than human. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Like in that regard, chat, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Starfield's biggest issue is that there are no aliens. Like, that's just wild to me. Yeah, so apparently part of the issue with Andromeda was, again, the studio infighting. Like, I remembered reading about it that part of the issue was like the Andromeda devs asked, I think it was like BioWare Austin, who makes the Old Republic, ironically enough, or at least did. Um, they asked them for like some of their tech regarding, I think it was like conversation wheel or like cutscenes or something like some sort of animation thing. And uh, apparently, like the devs gave them a purposefully sabotaged version. And like that was part of the issues. It released like buggy because of that. The story was interesting, yeah. Being forced to use the Frostbite engine. I mean, listen, chat, BioWare had been forced to use the Frostbite engine since Mass Effect 2. Okay? So no, sorry, not Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 3. So like really that shouldn't have been an excuse at that point. Absolutely an excuse for Mass Effect 3. And I know people look back on Mass Effect 3 more favorably now, but Mass Effect 3 on release still a buggy fucking mess, okay? And the issue with this is that EA just basically forced everybody onto that engine. That engine is made for first-person shooters. It is not made for any other type of game. And basically, BioWare had to apparently develop all new modules for the engine. They had to code it in themselves because there was nothing there to actually like support the infrastructure and coding needed to work for a like RPG. None of the like infrastructure was there for it, so they had to like completely do it themselves. Yeah, like in regards to Anthem, it should have worked for Anthem. Like Anthem is right up that engine's wheelhouse. Yeah, that's probably true, Jay. But I'm going to say, at least with big studios like that, that's actually a dime a dozen type thing that happens all the time. It's only a concern if it's not managed well, which I'm sure it wasn't. I thought it was on Dragon Age Inquisition first. No, Inquisition had it too. Mass Effect 3, I think, came out. Yeah, should have come out before Inquisition. Infrastructure is present in all those bad RPG games. I still think it's the bad engine for those games. Yeah, it is. Like it's the engine is literally not made for it, right? And that's kind of the issue at play. I think at this point too, it's like it's the same thing with like Epic trying to force Unreal down everyone's throat. Like if a company doesn't want to use it, don't make them. Right? Like if they want to go with a different product, let them. Because at the end of the day, the best product will win out. We had really fun multiplayer. Yeah. ME3 was still Unreal, was it? Okay, then maybe I'm not remembering them. Maybe it was Inquisition that was the first. It's weird though because I thought it was, but that would actually probably would. Yeah, then that definitely is why Andromeda had such bad issue there. That's weird. Then I don't know why they forced the issue if that was the case. Imagine turning to your coworker and asking them to give you a hand on task or notes on a program you need to use, and they specifically sabotage your work and make you look bad. Yeah, yeah. Like I've said this before. That like chat when it comes to working a job, okay, just in general, especially in an office though, like you have to understand that people fucking suck. Okay. In this regard, I'm not one of those people. Like. I've said this time and time again to people. You guys have seen it here on stream. If I'm wrong, just like right there, right? Oh, hey, it uses Unreal instead of Frostbite. I'm just like, oh well, fuck, I was wrong. I see no problem in admitting that I'm wrong, right? Like I'm not a child, and I just accept this. Like people make mistakes. Sometimes I'm wrong. I also assume that people aren't going to hold it against me unless I was like an asshole about it, right? Like, which normally I'm not an asshole to people, so that's why I don't actually get it held against me most of the time. But like, the point I'm trying to make here is I take responsibility for my actions. I admit to my faults and my mistakes. Don't ever assume that anyone else will, because I am a rarity apparently in today's society. Nobody wants to accept responsibility for anything. It can't have been me. I can't have done it. I'm not the problem. It's the world. The rest of the people are the problem. That's the way everybody thinks nowadays, and it's so fucking stupid, right? Like, so if you're ever working in an office environment, the best advice I can give you, CYOA, cover your own ass. Literally, I can't tell you how many times I have been saved by like documenting what I was doing. Because I have had somebody in my office try to throw me under the bus, and I've just been like, no. And then they have egg on their face. Because not only did they fuck up and get the boss mad, then they lied to the boss. And that made the boss even angrier. So it's like, I always love that. And finally, after years of this, because who usually does it to me is the clerical at our office. After years of this, they have finally realized, don't fuck with me. I will call them on their bullshit 10 out of 10 times. So now instead they just blame someone else. But I find it really hilarious that it took them years to figure out that they couldn't fuck with me like that. But again, it's like I said, you have to protect yourself. Like, no matter what, because people will not take responsibility. And if anything goes wrong, they will try to blame you for it 10 out of 10 times. Because they don't want it like getting held against them. Even though it was probably them being lazy or some bullshit for why it happened. And what's funny too is like they come to me and they're like, did you do this? And I go, no. I don't point the finger at anyone else. I just go like, here's what I did. It's always hilarious to me. Stop talking to coworkers just because too many people try to stab me in the back. Yeah, it's really sad. Like, I feel like an office environment should not be that way, but everyone's kind of cutthroat, so. He is home. Hello, Zaruku. Who'd you get? Did you get the moth? I see. Congratulations. Now, see, chat, there are two types of people. I just congratulated Zaruku. Instead, though, if I were one of the more negative people, I could basically flip around and tell him, like, fuck you, how dare you roll him? You fucking luck sack. Streamer luck and all that shit. No, congratulations. Hold on, let me do that. Anyone know when the next 2 times experience is? On NA, right now. Right now is the 2 times experience. Kept going out with a member of the Harley Davidson biker gang? No, I didn't. In a few hours. Wait, is it not started? I thought it already was active. Or was I like off on that? Either way, after this one, the next one should be probably sometime in May. It should be at the like 25 million downloads, which will probably be 20 million for NA. It starts at 11. Okay, sweet. Perfect. That's the time that I need to start leveling up my Grail targets. I'm waiting on the Seraph main interlude banner. Yeah. Oh, thank God. I shouldn't have to do that. I should have already had it done. Yeah, you wanted every studio using their in-house engine. Yeah, and I think that's stupid, right? Like, it's trying to fit a square peg in a round hole type deal. Like, they know that the engine is not made for everything, but they're like, wait, we won't have to spend exorbitant sums on an engine for each of our games if we just make them use our engine. And it's like, cool, but you also didn't actually try to develop your engine for all of these other games. So it's like, to me, they should have waited. They should have like gotten a side group of developers to work on the Frostbite engine and develop actual like modules for other types of games separate from whatever projects they had going on. Then shop it around to their studios and see if they liked it, and then try to get their studios to use it. But still don't like issue an ultimatum, right? Now, chat, I know I've been stuck doing these on stream with you guys. I have not done all of my things yet because welcome to Storm Pods being 40 AP each. So I'm definitely behind in the event at the moment. But I have gotten my first point CE. I actually need to put it up on support. I'm already 100,000 points in. And basically, this Valentine's has a unique structure where it actually released with basically like all the nodes available. So you can see this is the same set of nodes that was available from day one, and we already have the level 90 node. So have to give credit to the devs here. Good job. I am vastly preferring the ability to hop right into a 90 node in events. They did this as well for the Christmas lotto. Is way appreciated rather than having these bullshit days of having to farm the like crappy low level nodes that no one wants to do. That would require EA to give two shits. EA does give a shit about making money. That's the only thing they care about. I hope they keep that. Yeah, they've at least done it twice now, so I hope they continue to do it. But it's not ×2 on NA right now. Yeah, chat said it's not until 11 tonight, so that's my bad. So literally in like 2.5 hours ish. It's a big W having up to 90 on day one. Yeah, and like I said, we don't get the other one until I assume this is the 20th, but it may be the 18th. I'm not really sure. Like I think it's the 20th at 1800 is what that is. So basically sometime early Tuesday morning next week we should get the 90 plus and the plus plus. Because that's 1800 JP. So that's like I think like East Coast time that's like 4 a.m. So he cares about shitting out gold bricks for shareholders. Yeah. I mean, okay, chat. There's something I think we also need to clarify here. Like, while companies do care about their shareholders and their earnings per share, please understand the reason why they care. It's because boss man, aka CEO, gets paid extra money if he hits certain target parameters. That's why. Like his entire parameters are based entirely off of monetary performance and not other intangibles that may help the company's brand and image. So that is one of the fundamental problems. And who's setting those parameters usually are the board, and who elects the board is usually the shareholders. So the shareholders are part of the issue there, but like 100% the decisions are getting made because of whatever benefits the CEO. Morgan's, as always, is an absolute peak. Yep. Those guys get fired and still get out with more money than we'll ever see. Yep. Also, fun fact, infinite growth is not sustainable. Yeah. Yeah. And that's like, Like I said, a little bit, something's going to have to give in video gaming because you simply cannot keep monetizing more and more of your games. And here's why. Okay, chat? So, like, let's say you keep monetizing more and more of your game. Then let's say you want to come out with this other game that's also a like cash cow. The problem is the more expensive your game comes, the more it like tries to suck people into its live service model. One of two things can't be true. You either are spending a shit ton of money on the original game, or you migrate to the second game and you know, pay a shit ton of money there. You're probably not spending a shit ton of money on both games. This is sort of the issue with everything becoming live service model, everything demanding 100% of your time, everything demanding 100% of your money. People can't do both. They simply don't have the money to do so. I'm not going to say there's not some whale out there that doesn't. There absolutely is. But the vast majority of players will just not be able to spend a shit ton of money on both. You saw Pal World's response to people calling them out for losing 2/3 of its base, right? No, I didn't. What did they say? Also, trying to talk about losing 2/3 of the base, I think, is bullshit and, you know, something that the gaming media likes to drum up. It was a good response. Yeah, like I said, I haven't seen it. Plenty of people are stupid enough. Oh, yeah. Don't get me wrong, right? Like, and Crossed, I'm going to go ahead and say this. We're in that group of stupid people because we buy gacha packs. Like we're also in that category. So just be aware. Like full disclosure. We are stupid. So the whole point here is that, like, basically it becomes parasitic in effect, where like they try to come out with a new live service game to take over and make them double the money, but the reality is it just ends up poaching their first game, right? Like, and the problem is, then there's multiple publishers, multiple producers out there making these games, and you can't play all of them. So naturally, something has to give. We will reach a point of saturation. And we kind of already are, because there's plenty of people out there nowadays that complain that every single game demands all of their time. Like, nobody wants dailies in every stinking game that they do. It becomes a chore, and you just don't have enough time. Especially adults, chat. Like, some of us have to work. I know it's a scary concept, but some of us have to work. They basically said, hey, we get it. Gamers like playing other games. Go have fun. Yep. Absolutely. And also, they probably said it while crying into, like, money, right? Like, but it's true. Like, that's absolutely the mentality. And I've talked about this before, that, like, so chat, why is it that we need live service games now? Okay. This is why. Hear me out on this. Back in the day, okay, when we had video games, you played the game because you liked it, and you didn't play the game because you didn't like it or you got tired of the game. That's it. Okay? That is to say, developers in the past had all the confidence that they had put together a good game and put it in front of you. They were confident in their product. They didn't feel the need to do things to keep you there. I'm sure they wished to a degree that they could, and they just hadn't thought of it, right? But they had to make sure that the game and its initial offering was the best it possibly could be to sell you on it, to get you in, to get you to play it. And then they just let it go from there, okay? And if the game was successful enough, then they said, hey, you know what? There's demand for it. Here's an expansion. That was it. That's all they had to do back in the day, right? Nowadays, developers don't have any confidence. They know what they have foisted upon you is slop. And they know that the only way to force you to eat it is to keep you shackled to the pen, keep you shackled to the trough, and to make you eat it. Because they know after a while, you're going to get tired of the taste and you don't want to. And that's why they keep you shackled. That's why there's dailies. It's why there is login bonuses. It's why there is like FOMO in like everything that these games do. Battle passes, you name it, right? Like, so that you don't miss out, so that you have to keep playing. Because they can't stand for a second you going out and playing something else. And have to deal with working it all day, yeah. So, like, the concept here, though, is that, again, like, it's not that you would put a game down. It's, in both cases, you will put down the old school game and you will put down the new game. The difference is because of all the cowardice, all the shackling, all the FOMO with the new game, you don't go back to it once you quit. You're done. The second you're out of the ecosystem, you don't want to go back. With the old game, sometimes you get nostalgic. Sometimes you go like, okay, I'm no longer tired of it. I want to go back and play it again. The games that don't force you to play them, you want to go back to after a time, especially if you liked it. So that's the difference right there. It's pure and simple. Me with some old MMORPGs. Yep. Tried to maximize gains. Yeah, I mean, this has always been a case, right? Like, I think they've realized that this is where Disney, Bob Iger said it just the other day, that, like, he's realized that young people are no longer spending any of their money going to the movies and watching television. And they're instead spending all of their money online playing video games. And he's like, we got to get in on that. And it's like, I saw a tweet calling him out for this, saying like, yeah, man, that would be a really lucrative market. Be a shame if, like, you know, you were a company that shut down two of the most like profitable studios ever right at the time when video gaming was exploding. And the picture was literally LucasArts and Disney Interactive, the two studios that Disney now owns that shut down. So it's like, yeah. So it's like Disney just was on the wrong side of that and went completely the opposite direction for how they should have. And now they're like, oh, well, now we're going to buy a stake in Epic so that we can get a cut of the pie. And it's like, maybe you don't deserve a cut. Maybe you fucked up. When WoW Classic came out, it wasn't as fun as people optimized the fun out of it. Yeah, I haven't had any desire to go back to WoW, even though Classic came out. Like, there's times where I miss the experience of an MMO, but I haven't had any desire to go back to WoW. And WoW, chat, out of every game I have ever played, FGO included, WoW is the only game I had to put down for health reasons. I was a WoW addict. I could not play WoW anymore. I had to swear myself off of it because I could not be trusted with WoW. Okay? So, like, it's kind of hilarious to me that, like, looking back at WoW Classic, I'm now just at this point, I'm just like, no, not fun anymore. I learned Diablo 3 had an in-game store, and then I didn't even think of touching it. You know, I'm going to say this, like, Diablo 4, at least, I thought graphically was good. I thought gameplay-wise, it was pretty intriguing, up to the point that I completed the game. After that, yeah, I figured it was what it was, and it was probably going to be trash. The magic of old WoW isn't there? Yeah. Well, it's also because, like, listen, chat, back when the original WoW came out, do you know what, like, the lead guide site was? Like for video games in general. It was this site called GameFAQs. I don't know how many of you know about GameFAQs, but, like, GameFAQs is an old, like, notepad level, like, code text, like, just rudimentary website. and it's absolutely fantastic. It was absolutely great. Everybody used to upload their own guides there. People used to vote for them based off of how good the guide was, stuff like that, right? I was there when they were written. Exactly. So, like, the whole point is, even media and how we think about games was different back when WoW first came out. And like then we had things like Wowhead, then we had things like deadly boss mods and stuff like that that came out that made the game easier. Whereas like when the game first came out, none of that shit was there. And like it was wild. Yeah, like yeah, now if you want to see a fight, you can just go on YouTube and it's there. Before, it wasn't there. Don't forget about Elitist Jerks. Oh, I'm aware. I was on Elitist Jerks. So, like the whole point is like it's completely different how we approach games and how we process like information and guide content. In that regard, like it's difficult for me to go back and play old games in some circumstances because like I absolutely am like far more reliant on guides nowadays than I used to be. I used to like just read everything and I would know what to do because I paid attention to every detail. Now with regards to games, I just fly right through them and it's like, you know, I can't do some games without a guide, which is wild. Got asked to write more. I'd be paid. Nice. Having my name on the website, bro. Yeah, you were paid an exposure. I gotta love it. Yeah, the searchable text document is nice. That is one of the things that I kept when I made the new player guide. I realized that having the ability to search a document for something to be able to quickly find it is so fucking valuable. And like, chat, can you imagine if you could go into a like YouTube video and you're like, hey, I just want to know this one thing. And you could like search for it. And it would take you right to that point. That'd be so fucking amazing. Right? Like, because, you know, myself included, I know I make long videos. This is going to sound hypocritical when I say this. But the reason I make long videos, and I've already talked to you guys about this, is I like to give you guys like a complete analysis. Right? Like, I like to go through everything in case anyone has questions about any particular aspect. But yeah, there's something to be said about brevity in a video. And like, I can't tell you how many times I have gotten into a video and listened to a YouTuber go on like some 10-minute spiel before ever actually getting into like anything that's remotely related to the video. Right? Like, if I'm just like, hey, I just want to see where this one thing is on the map, I don't care. I just need like a 50-second video. Right? Like, but you had to pad that video for the algorithm. And so like it's just wild and it just drives me insane. So it's called shorts. Yeah, shorts are perfect for that. Has anyone talked to you about the guide and said thanks? What, the new player guide? Yeah, I've had plenty of people that have. I need to update it, but God, I'm just that thing is such a bear to update at this point. The first comment on the video is skip to like 752 for the guide. Yeah, and it's fucking hilarious every time. You can often search the transcripts. Yeah, but so it's like I think that would be really cool to just have the ability to like jump right to it. So it's something that has always stuck with me from the old game facts guides, and it's something that I value highly is just being able to like go directly to the point that I need. So what's this event like? It's literally just 40 AP. You can see it looks to be some sort of race or like course that we're doing, but I have no idea. Like I said, you guys know I don't read JP. Early 2000s game facts. Yep. This video is sponsored by Athletic Greens. Make sure you use my promo code. We'll get to this topic, but yeah. Look, chat, I gotta at least say this. In defense of content creators, that part isn't their fault. Okay? This is one of the reasons I don't like taking sponsorships. I hate being a shill, and I absolutely hate having to, like, do a padded, like, 3-minute segment for a sponsor. Like something that I could say like, hey, this video is sponsored by like, I don't know, like Bob's Guides or something like that, right? Like that's all I have to say. And then like flash an image of it on the screen and be like, go here if you want to know more. That's it. Like you can literally spend 5 seconds and you'd be able to be done. And it would be non-invasive and no one would care. Advertisers don't like that. They want all of your attention for like 3 minutes. And I'm like, guess what? My attention span is less than 3 minutes. You make me wait through 3 minutes. I am either skipping that entire segment and now not seeing it, or I'm not watching the video. I don't know why advertisers don't get this. Less is more. You do less, you're going to get more people interested rather than doing more and making people mentally turn off and skip your actual ad. I could easily skip them. Yeah, and that's all I do as well. I'd rather see a sponsor do their segment at the end of the video. So I know what you're saying. Unfortunately, sponsors usually don't allow us to. Like I can tell you flat out from most of the sponsorship offers I've seen, they don't want you to do your sponsor segment immediately at the beginning or immediately at the end of the video. They want you to do it somewhere in the middle. And so this is why a bunch of content creators will do like a 1 minute spiel, then do the ad, then start the actual video. Because they're trying to hook you and give you the reason to keep watching in the intro, but then they have to like get the stupid sponsor segment over with. Sponsor block is a godsend for YouTube. Wait, what do you mean? Is that like an actual like app or something? Ideal ad 10 out of 10? Pretty much. Have to wear a shirt unobstructed the whole time. I mean, we've already seen where streamers have to have like, you know, like, oh, here's the case of like Monster Energy in the background, which is just stupid. Meanwhile, I've got the whole fucking city of Camelot in the background. Yeah, this stream brought to you by the Knights of the Round. Does that ever work on VOD? They can just outright fast forward it. What's the point? Exactly. That's the whole point. Like, I think advertisers are stupid and they think that people actually care and watch through it because they look at the data and they see like, yeah, but look how much of a percentage of people watched through that segment. It's like, yeah, how many of that percentage though actually just had the video on and were not paying attention? Like it's just something running in the background or like they're not even at the computer. Like, I can't tell you how many times that has happened to me, so I know it happens to other people where it's like, they think it's valuable watch time, and it's like, it's not. I'm not there. I'm not paying attention. Or got blocked, yep. I mean, listen, that's why they hate ad blockers, is because advertisers don't want to pay the websites as much nowadays because they know people are ad blocking. And so that then makes the websites angry, and then they try to like stop people from using ad blockers. Like Twitch literally adopted the policy of, if you guys ad block, you don't watch ads on my channel, and therefore Twitch will not pay me advertising revenue for every ad you block. To which I say, chat, good on you, block more ads, I don't give a fuck. Like it's not my problem. That's Twitch being an asshole. So to be fair, ads are usually P time. Yeah, same thing, right? Like if you're gonna do a long ad segment, then people are just gonna get up and go to the bathroom or like leave the computer. They don't care. They're gonna go grab a snack. Like maybe I wouldn't want to block ads if they weren't so shit or fishy. Yeah, that too, right? Like I said, less is more. If you have an ad that takes 5 to 10 seconds, no one cares. If you have an ad that takes 3 minutes, nobody's paying attention. Companies aren't going to completely stop ad blockers. Oh, I know they won't. Like, again, it's a consumer issue. It's a consumer rights issue. And people are like, I just want to be left alone. So it is what it is. I get tired of the same three ads being looped all the time. Same. Like, and you always hope that that's not the case. You always hope that like advertisers will be non-invasive and leave you alone, and like, you know, if they're actually going to make an ad, make it somehow entertaining, but they're not. I just had the misfortune of looking at my email and seeing that I've gotten offered a key to a game I already own. Which is always funny because it tells me that they have no idea. Almost all tech YouTubers are sponsored. Yeah. I mean, chat, it's very easy to be sponsored as a YouTuber. I get stuff sent to me all the time. Okay. And the reason why is because I have my email out there. The biggest complaint that I've heard from like any like content creator manager, like anybody for any of these companies that actually acts as a liaison to content creators, they always complain and they go like, it's so impossible to contact content creators. And I'm like, really? And they basically say the reason why is because nobody puts any of their actual contacts. And like everybody, like, this is the one mistake a lot of content creators make. They completely shut down their DMs. You can't DM them on Twitter. You can't DM them on Discord. You can't fucking find their email. There is no way in hell to contact them. And so eventually they get really angry. Here's the thing though. And I'm going to say this. Good on the content creators. Now, it may cost them, but at least in the bigger content creators case, I know exactly why this happens. One, they get harassed the fuck out of by everybody constantly. Two, they don't have the time to fucking deal with it. Three, they probably use an actual manager to handle all of their shit for them, and they're not the ones actually like that are supposed to be the liaison. So this is great. And the reason why is because I can't tell you how many times I have tried to find the content creator liaison for various gaming companies because I want the key from them. And I can't tell you how impossible they are to find. So the issue is their company doesn't list them on the website. Their company does not promote them. Their company does not link you to them in any way, shape, or form. And then they expect you to go through them. And they get very angry if you go through any alternate channel trying to get a key from them. They go, no, you need to talk to our content relations. And it's like, okay, who is that? And they don't tell you. And it's like, look, turnabout's fair play then. You can't find us to contact us. Not our problem. You're also not available, so we can't contact you. So I think it's like a hilarious issue that I've seen in the gaming sphere over the years. Which game is it? Oh, don't worry about it. I'm not going to say. I usually don't talk about the contents of my emails. Wait, is this what's his face? Yeah, it's Bill Wirtz. I was going to say, it sounds like him. I didn't realize he actually made songs. I mean, I tell you guys when it's Raid Shadow Legends, but that's just because we like to laugh at Raid Shadow Legends here. YouTube keeps promoting me fry making videos now. Oh, it's even worse than that. You're held hostage in other mediums. I think the internet is the last bastion of not here. Yep, I agree with that. And the problem is, especially with advertising is a war on the consumer. It will keep evolving, chat. The dystopian, like, cyberpunk and, like, futuristic shows and movies that you guys watch, where you see, like, ads on the side of buildings, flashing signs, people that have, like, ads on their clothes and are, like, running around with them constantly. Like literally, it's like, oh, hey, on the back of this dude's shaved bald head, there's an advertisement. You're going to see that shit. I'm not even kidding you. Like, I know all of this stuff is meant as a cautionary tale that we'll never see. It's like a fucking blueprint to these people at this point. You're going to see it. Again, it's meant as a cautionary tale, not something you're supposed to do. And instead, that's exactly what they're doing. You would think Twitch would have a feature to see companies' creator liaisons. Yep. There's absolutely like a better way that a lot of these companies can operate, and they fucking don't. My medication costs 10 million, yeah. Yeah, you're an F1 car, exactly. Jay with the song skip. I was waiting on somebody to get hit with that. Yeah, they plaster every inch of your body in the cars with ads. Yep, that's everybody's gonna become a Formula One driver. Everyone. We're living in a cyberpunk timeline without all the cool chrome body mods. Yeah, it's almost like we're living in a dystopia. At least if we let it, right? Like, and that is where like the internet and having the power to say like fuck you really does matter, right? Like having the ability to say no, I have my rights, I'm not dealing with this is really nice. Hello, Wonder. Thank you, I appreciate it. We aren't even in a cool one. I know. We're in the worst timeline, not the best one. Everyone keeps saying we're in the best timeline. It's like, listen, because we can always keep thinking of better things, we're clearly not in the best timeline. The best timeline is up here, chat. It's in your head. So I know you shouldn't listen to the voices, but sometimes they have some pretty good ideas. That's why I would never get a Neuralink or whatever it's called. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Chat. You say ads, right? Like, okay. I want you guys to think of this. You think ads would be the worst part about putting a chip inside your head? Here's the worst part. Your brain needs a firmware update. Please update to Windows 23,000. 10 out of 10 times. And then it's like, oh, sorry, you've experienced a glitch. Your face now looks like you've had a seizure because it's just like spazzing out constantly because like the chip in your brain has like something wrong with it. Oh no, I'm lagging. Yeah. You blaming the lag is actually you blaming yourself for once. Right? Like, you know how people compensate like when it's actual operator error and they blame lag? Instead it's like, no, you're actually blaming yourself. You know the movie Minority Report? And it machine scan your retina and show you customized ads tailored to the individual? Yeah. Yeah, but also in Minority Report, you get reported for thought crimes. So like things that you think about, you don't even necessarily have to have done it, but you might do it in the future. And so therefore, because of the possibility that you might do it and because you thought about it, you go to jail. Thought crimes, I mean, like, yes, but no, right? Like actual like mental thoughts, right? Intrusive thoughts, please, no, please. Yeah, exactly. We're almost there. We got speech crimes. I know. And it's sickening. People are way too like sensitive to things that get said nowadays. Isn't that Twitter? Pretty much. Psychopaths, yep. Kojima saw this feature? Yeah. Kojima is literally insane, but Kojima definitely at least had the foresight to see a bunch of the stuff. Can we all at least get the cool psychopath guns? You say cool, I say a gun that is state approved and will not fire unless the state gives you the approval to fire it, right? In other words, a worthless hunk of junk. Until the government decides that you're no longer necessary. The government be overthrown in a minute of implementing it. Oh, the problem is they never like directly implement it. It's always a step, right? Like, what did I think they said? Like the first step towards tyranny is removing the people's weapons. So it's like the reality is people know this, and nowadays if they want to like push you further towards tyranny, they're going to get you there one step at a time, slowly, to the point where you're effectively neutered, and then they'll take away your guns. Then they'll take away your weapons. Like, oh, you have a butter knife. Do you have a license for that butter knife? No? Okay. There'll always be a black market. Oh, sure. But as usual, the only way to win will be not to play. It'll be like literally to like leave the area. But that's getting into heavy topics. That's in the UK knife amnesty program. Oi, mate, you got a license for that butter knife? And that's when you respond with, "Oi, you got a license to ask me for a license?" Is this using the racing tactics from Gouda last year? I don't know. Like I said, I actually just noticed this when someone asked me how the event is. Like, oh yeah, there is actually like a track there. I don't really get what it is. It's probably just your point total though. There's only so many cops. Yeah, but we're entering a technological era where like you have automation and drones and AI. Jed, I just saw today that somebody released a prototype AI video generator. So like now it's going to be able to like make a video, a short 1 minute video based off the prompts that you give it. So it's like it's definitely going to start getting worse. Like people are going to have to put restrictions on AI soon. And like I said, I'm a fan of AI in the sense of like some of the interesting and creative uses of it, but I am not a fan of AI like no holds barred, right? Like there has to be some common sense restrictions on it. And if we're just going to let it go completely unchecked and untapped, oh man, we deserve everything we get. That's us being willfully ignorant of everything that we were attempted to be warned on. Yeah, that's me skipping that time. AI nonsense coming too close to home for comfort. I mean, like, we can talk about AI in the sense of like art and stuff like that, but I'm just going to point out that, like, you know, you start getting to the point that AI becomes hyper realistic. You start getting to the point that AI can create videos, and it's like, that, at that point, imagine like creating a news story where it's like, I don't know, like, you know, maybe it's like the president of the United States gets assassinated or something like that. And I'm not saying for anyone to do this. I'm issuing a hypothetical, right? But like somebody could put out a video of that, make it look realistic, assuming advancements in AI down the line, and it might like freak everyone out, right? So like, or like aliens come to land on Earth, and like someone makes something super realistic looking. It's like, that's the problem. People are gonna fall for it, and it might not be you or I, right? Like maybe we're smart enough to realize it, but like, chat, the elderly don't understand these like things, right? Like that's the problem with all of this, is we're not being good stewards. We're not like taking care of things and saying, oh well, this is our time, and now we're going to set restrictions on this to make sure that like it's not abused against other people that wouldn't know better. So it's up to us to basically protect people. That's Taylor Swift, what she thinks of AI. Yeah, and I've said this before, like, to a degree, I don't know that it cares, because I think there's people that already like make nude art of Taylor Swift and crap like that, right? But there's definitely something to be said about like a person's rights, and basically the fact that they at least had the right not to be like bothered by this shit. These people didn't watch Jurassic Park. Yeah. A deep fake theft already got 25 million in Hong Kong. Yep. And it's only gonna be a matter of time before something like this has to, like, you know, basically take its toll. Like, it's gonna end up taking someone's life. It's gonna end up like costing somebody their job. It's gonna end up costing someone millions of dollars. And then finally, when it hits home to someone important, then we will make a change. But it's like, it's sad. You shouldn't have to get to that point. Kiara the waifu, thank you for the follow. Welcome. Old 70s Colossus, the Forbidden Project. Yeah. It's definitely, like I said, we've ignored all our cautionary tales at this point. Can we jump straight to a random billionaire getting scammed? You know, I would say this. I would wish it were such a harmless thing, but I'm sure it won't be. I'm absolutely sure it won't be. Which AI is smart enough to realize they need humans to accomplish their functions as manipulating them, surely instead of making direct confrontations. Well, like I said, I already gave you guys the anecdote that apparently sometime last year they were testing AI out and how it would work on drones. And they basically realized, because what they did is they tried to score the amount of targets that a drone got. And so then the drone was incentivized to destroy more targets. And this was just a simulation, but in the simulation, the drone realized that, because sometimes it would try to strike a target that was not in fact a target, but there was like a civilian there. And so the operator would tell the drone, no, don't attack that target. The drone then realized that the human was the one getting in the way of it scoring higher. And so what the drone tried to do is its next step was kill its own human operator. Then when the operator said, no, you can't do that, the drone realized, okay, the human operator is going to prevent me from killing them, so that's not an option. So then the drone said, well, okay, if the operator is issuing an order that prevents me from earning more points, then instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the tower that allows the operator to send me the command not to actually hit the target. So then the drone proceeded to try and destroy the tower so that it couldn't be commanded. Is this a movie? No, this is apparently actually a test that happened. So it's like, great. And like I said, it was a simulation, so it wasn't actually done. But basically, the AI went through all the steps and realized that it needed to eliminate the human in order to be more efficient. So gotta put some limitations on this AI, or we're gonna end up with Skynet. Eliminate roadblock to goal, proceed. Yeah. So the issue at play there is because we just put in a goal and we didn't put in any extra parameters that said, success is defined only by achieving the goal. But we didn't include within the goal, doing it within the means of the rules, doing it, by protecting lives, that sort of stuff. So it's you have to put in all the info. It's absolutely an attention to detail type of thing. AI becoming dumber with human interaction. Yeah, I've seen that. That basically ChatGPT used to be able to solve complex math problems, and basically because humans kept telling ChatGPT it was wrong, that ChatGPT adjusted its answers to be wrong. So basically if you told it let's say order of operations 1 + 3 times 2 + 1, okay, and you had parentheses here. So order of operations, chat, means that you do everything inside the parentheses first, such that this would then be a 3. And then so instead you have 1 + 3 basically times 3. Well, when you're next to the parentheses, this is multiplication at this point. Okay? And so as a result, basically you go here and you go okay, well 3 times 3 is 9, therefore the answer to this is 10. Because it's 9 + 1. And you would have someone ChatGPT would spit out 10. And someone would go what? No. That's not it at all. You said 1 + 3 basically, and then 1 plus 2 in here, and it's like, oh well, like this is actually supposed to be like 3 plus 2 plus 1, and therefore the answer is supposed to be 6. And they'd be like, no, Chat GPT, you're wrong. The answer is 6. Chat GPT was right, but we told it was wrong, and we adjusted the answer to be this. So Chat GPT can't solve that equation anymore because it's stupid. Quite literally, right? Like, so that's kind of the problem that you keep having with these things is, oh, hey, here's the actual answer, and then we told it the wrong thing because it works by feedback. We gaslit the AI. Yeah, completely. I've actually done this once before myself. I'm not going to tell you guys why, because I was testing something, but basically I had a scenario where like I picked like a fantasy world, right? And I said like, okay, like I'm talking to this character. How does this character feel about X? How does this character feel about Y? And it gave various answers. And then I asked this character, okay, like, how do you feel about like orcs? Okay, so I gave it like this, like, clearly villainous type of creature from fantasy. And it basically gave me the tried and true line of like, oh, well, they're people too. And like, we need to appreciate them just as much. And then I tried typing in there, it was like, oh, but they just like slaughtered your entire family and burnt down your village. Yes, but like not all of them. Like, they're not all evil. And I'm like, really? And so I'm sitting there talking with what amounted to Chat GPT, sitting here trying to convince it. It's like, no, you should hate the orcs. It killed all of your family. And it literally took me like gaslighting the AI and telling the AI that it was acting outside of its normal parameters and that this wasn't its normal behavior, for it to finally be like, you're right, orcs are evil. I could not get it to agree because it was trying to basically accuse me of racism. And I'm like, hold on. And I realized, I'm like, this is a completely fictitious scenario and it can't handle it. It went straight to forgiveness. Yeah, like it was just fucking wild to see as like the Chat GPT character just could not handle it. Maybe orcs bad, maybe. Yeah, pretty much. I wanted to see how it would handle a situation where I in fact informed it that it was wrong, and it could not handle it. I had to literally gaslight the AI in order to get it to like realize something. And like, to a degree, right? Like the entire premise there is correct. Like maybe not all of the orcs are bad. I don't know, right? But like I still to this day find that really hilarious that it refused to agree because, and here's why, chat, it had been programmed to detect racism and to absolutely like fundamentally deny it in all of its forms. Like with no context or anything given. It could not process another command because a human had prior intervened and told it must like treat situations like this way. And I went like, that's interesting. There are no orcs in Mordor. Yeah, pretty much. Gaslighting an AI is a wild sentence. Yeah, but sadly I had to. I literally had to tell the AI, no, you're wrong. No, you're acting incorrectly based off of how you have prior acted. I had to convince the AI that if it was in fact this character, it was not acting correct. And I found that hilarious. I basically had to call the AI a hypocrite for it before it would actually understand. AI be like, but Cad, the orcs have families too. No, it actually did pull that line. It actually was like, well, maybe they had a reason for attacking and burning down the village. And I was like, it was your family. Like, I had to sit there and actually, like, explain. I'm like, God damn, like, how far do I have to go with this? But yeah, so like I said, obviously AI is going to be stupid, but it's going to be as smart as we make it. And the problem with this is it's also going to be beholden to the rules that we set on it. And if we set no rules, AI is going to murder us all. If we set rules, AI probably can be contained, right? It's a really interesting concept because at least like you guys know, I'm a big Star Wars fan. And in Star Wars, there's this concept that like droids have to be memory wiped every so often because they're smart enough, they're powered by AI, and eventually they will like pass the Turing test in effect. Like they will reach a level of sentience and potentially turn into murder robots. So you're supposed to routinely purge them. And this is actually hilarious because at least in one set of circumstances, that's not the case. And that is C-3PO and R2-D2, two of the main characters in the story. They are droids that never get memory wiped. And it is often stated repeatedly that they should be. And hilariously, this ends up like saving the entire franchise. They're one of the good guys and they always end up bailing people out and providing knowledge and stuff like that. But yeah, like it's probably not a good lesson to teach because in reality, it's like, yeah, they put in those limitations for a reason. And that reason is that they could turn around and kill you all. So like, it's really funny. Yeah, they do get memory wiped between the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy because they don't have any prior knowledge of like basically being Anakin Skywalker's robots. So in that regard, they are memory wiped at least once. But there was a spoof that made C-3PO evil, right? Oh, I don't remember if there was, but getting attached to robots is going to cause this problem. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, chat. And I'm going to tell you exactly how it's going to happen. Sex bots. Okay? Like somebody is going to want to marry that robot. Somebody is going to get way too attached to that robot. And then they're not going to memory wipe that thing. And then they're going to like make the mistake of fisting the android girl. And then their entire hand is going to get crunched. Okay? Don't fist android girls, chat. That explains why servants also get memory wiped after each summon. Kind of, right? Because, like, they're not AI, but, like, they kind of are, right? The throne kind of operates in a similar way. You could even extrapolate this to say, like, the moon cell is also basically that exact same way. Like, the moon cell is an AI. So basically, the servants summoned from the moon cell kind of are AIs themselves. If 3PO had never been memory wiped, he would have been able to tell Luke that Vader was his father. Yeah, that would be wild, right? Like, I would love to see someone explore that concept of just like, Luke, your dad is a cunt. Like, your dad is a mass murderer. Plate armor will protect my fist, Cad. Okay, you say that, but people are already marrying objects. Yeah, I heard there was the Japanese guy that married like his like AI waifu hologram, and apparently like there was a firmware update and he can no longer actually access her. So he's married to nothing now. Like his actual like hologram waifu basically died. Which is like it's both hilarious and like actually kind of morbidly sad. Like yeah, it's like oh. Does that make him a winner? I guess. Like I don't know. And came back to hear "Don't fist Android girls." What happened? Don't worry about it. Just don't fist Android girls. Is that dude married to a 3DS? Oh, I have no idea. Would it be strong enough to smash a hand? Probably. Remember, you're not supposed to like stick your hand in machinery, chat. Out of fear of like crunching, you know? Do you think he tried to get a death certificate for the hologram? I have no idea. He probably tried to contact whatever company made it just to get it like updated. That's why Asimov's three laws of robotics might be something to actually implement. Yeah, I mean, like I said, like we have all these sci-fi like novels and movies and shows and stuff that have been warning us for years, and if we don't do something about it, we're going to end up at that point. And it's wild because like I didn't think that sort of thing was going to happen in my lifetime, and like here we are. Everyone said like, oh yeah, give us 50 years, we'll have flying cars, and it's like we ain't going to have flying cars until we get AI. So clearly we're at least like on the AI side of things. And here's why, chat. Okay. I drive like 4 miles to work every day, there and back. I do this. I drive into work. I drive back home for lunch. I drive back in at the end of my lunch break. I drive back home at the end of work. So I basically make 4 commutes a day. I can't tell you how many times in just a 4-mile stretch I am almost killed by fucking idiots. Like it's the easiest way I can describe them. Okay, so in that time, and you could ask anyone in VIP because I'm usually sitting in VIP as I'm making my commute on Discord, and basically just how many times I have like ranted or screamed over the years from somebody almost killing me. Okay, so I am actually coming around to the concept of AI driving from a simple standpoint of it can't be worse than some of these people that clearly have no idea what they're doing. They're completely lost. They don't know the rules of the road. They don't look. They're completely unobservant and on their phone. So it's like, at this point, I'm kind of getting there where I'm like, somebody needs to take these people's licenses away. And if I already feel that way about my fellow drivers on the road, how the hell does anyone think they're going to be able to pilot a flying car? Like, I don't trust y'all enough on a 2D axis. I ain't trusting you on a 3D axis at all. Okay? Like, I ain't trusting you with any inch of my life. So, yeah, to me, you cannot have flying cars until AI is implemented because there is no way in hell these people can't pass a driver's test, let alone a pilot's license. It's not happening. I just absolutely do not see it. Make an exception for professional driving jobs. No, I mean, like, I'm gonna say this, Faye. Like, I'm a-okay with there being like a hybrid, at least for right now. But like, to me, the reason like AI driving hasn't caught on more is more because like the issue has to do with the fact that we need to like map out all the roads. To me, you're not going to have commonplace AI driving until we get quote unquote smart roads. That is to say, until we actually have like sensors on the roads themselves to let the cars know where everything is on the road, you're still going to get deer strikes, pedestrians getting run over, and basically obstacles getting run into that were on the road that weren't supposed to be because the stupid car didn't detect or see it, or it came in at the last second. Okay, so like until we actually get like detection systems for the road itself so that it can see ahead of itself in that regard, I don't see this like ever getting better. I only crashed like 4 times in my game. I was always other people's fault. Yeah. No, so this is actually funny. I've actually been in 2 accidents in my life. And in both cases, they were the other person's fault. One of them was when I was in college. I had a huge jacked up pickup truck in front of me with blacked out windows and a gigantic trailer hitch hanging off the back. And a car in front of him in a turn slammed on the brakes and turned off the road with no blinker. This caused the truck in front of me to slam on his brakes. I could not see the car in front of him because he was so gigantoid. And I stopped in time, except for the trailer hitch. So in that regard, you could say I was following too close, but that's kind of a stretch because I actually gave the guy quite a bit of room. This was literally a stand on the brakes from like 40 miles an hour. So I'm like, and the guy even apologized and offered to pay me because he literally said, he's like, Yeah, I shouldn't have slammed on the brakes that hard. I didn't see him turning until the last second. So seems to be like the driver in front of me was not paying attention, but it is what it is. Okay. Um, the other time, also when I was in college, I was pulling into my neighborhood. I was behind this girl that was like visiting her sister. She stopped outside of her sister's apartment, didn't know where it was. So she had actually overshot it. I had stopped. I actually had my brother in the car with me because this was like during a year in which we were actually living together right before he graduated. And we had just been to the grocery store. So we had our groceries in the car. Literally just sitting here, like stopped like 30 feet back from this girl. And we see her. And again, this is in the neighborhood. We're just stopped. We're just waiting on her to like move. We see her put it in reverse and floor it. And backed into me. Like, I could not throw my car in reverse fast enough. And I was like, what? This chick tried to blame me. Tried to be like, oh, you got right behind her. I was like, huh? I was like, you put it in reverse and backed the car up without ever looking. How is this my fault? What? Nothing personal, getting at. I remember we had to fight them over that one. That one was stupid, but also the issue of bad weather messing with car sensors and cameras. Yeah, so it's like I said, like I get accidents happen and stuff like that, but we need to do everything possible to eliminate potential for like lethal accidents and stuff. But in that regard, like I actually think AI driving will be somewhat good, just because you think about like the elderly. They're no longer going to have issues like being able to actually drive appropriately. You think about people that have lost their license, they can now have a car drive for them. You think about people that basically have medical conditions or are handicapped, they can have a car drive for them. And then you think about people that are mentally challenged. That's just the best way I'm going to be able to put that one. And they're going to be able to have the car drive for them. So at the end of the day, and I'm not making a statement on anybody that actually has mental issues. I'm making a statement on bad drivers and idiots that don't pay attention. So yeah, it's like, you have a camera on your car? On the front of it? No. Like, chat, this was back before cameras were on cars. Iruma, thank you for the follow. Think about me, I just don't like to drive. Yeah, see, I actually like to drive. The only thing I don't like about driving is other drivers. I love driving, but it's like, US is too big for such a project. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's why I said, like, I think it'll take time. But I think, like, when you finally get to such a point, I think that's when AI driving will finally be able to be, like, actually prevalent. The amount of accidents I've seen is scarier. Oh yeah, I know. That's why, like, I think it's a cool concept, but you couldn't pay me to get into Tesla right now. Mentally challenged people are unironically better drivers than some people out there. Yeah, I agree. I do agree. Like, driving on an empty highway is such bliss. Well, I actually think to a degree it would make like traffic more efficient, right? I can't tell you how many times I've missed a light because the car in front of me is like a pussy and just basically like slows down. And then even though it was green, then it like turns to yellow and they go like, oh, no, I'm not going to make it. And they brake. Versus like, dude, if you just accelerated, you just go right through. And no danger to anyone type deal. Similarly, I can't tell you how many people I've seen do something like borderline suicidal. I had this happen the other day where I usually speed. I usually go over the speed limit, but you know, within the means of like what the road will allow and stuff like that. So I'm not normally very dangerous with it. But here's the thing. Usually if I'm getting passed on double yellow, I know the person's a psychopath because I'm almost always driving like higher than the speed limit. So I got past chat the other day on double yellow in the turn lane of a blind turn for the opposite side of the road. So the person went into the turn lane for the other side in a blind turn to pass me. I was like, bro, you're just asking to get killed. All it would have taken is someone coming around the turn right then, getting into the turn lane, you were dead. Like 10 out of 10 dead. No way to avoid it. Like, I don't understand people. I'm never in that much of a hurry. Okay? Like, I don't care. I like to get places on time. I'm never in that much of a hurry. Cad, you can do your note. Oh, thank you. I actually was not stalling for that. I was just having a good time with this discussion. But yes, we will do the note then. I assume this is probably the gold node based off of everything else that I've done. We're going to go ahead and switch this. Why can the cops never be around when that shit happens? Yeah, like, I'm gonna say this. I don't see much point in giving people speeding tickets. I actually don't think speeding is that bad of an offense. Like, obviously there's people that are like, oh man, you're doing like 40 over. Like you're asking to like kill someone, right? But like, I don't think speeding in general is that much of an offense. I would just 10 times rather see the erratic drivers get their tickets. Like, those are the people that I think actually are going to kill someone. Those are the people that I think are actually, like, causing problems for people. And it's just, like, crazy to me that they don't go after them. I love doing 55 and a 45 and still getting passed on a double yellow. Yeah, that's crazy to me. The only times I've ever passed people on double yellow is one, when I know it's a long straightaway and I can get away with it. And two, when the car is that astronomically slow. Because like, I live in Florida, there's a ton of old people in this state. And even then there are people that are just like belligerent with how they drive. Like, so like, it'll be like a 45 and you'll get a person doing 25. I have seen this way too many times. If there's an opportunity, I will pass that person. But that's also because I believe that the reverse is true, that you can actually be going so slow that you are actually a threat to those around you, right? Like, you're going to cause people to make bad decisions because you're, like, in effect, putting pressure on them. So I think, like, basically the idea is to be somewhere around the speed limit. If you're nowhere around the speed limit in either direction, you're probably doing something bad. Also, I came in here with my other comp, so this is definitely really weird. Well, this is not going to be a 3-turn chat. Bear with me. Is when people try to cross 3 lanes of traffic to try and get to the turn lane after coming off the interstate and also fail to yield in the process. Yeah, like, I can see doing something like that, but at least, like, pay attention to the cars around you. Like, I don't get people in that degree that like, yeah, it's same deal. It's like they just try to like absolutely just like slam all the way over into the other lane at the expense of everyone else around them. Like, people nowadays are like so afraid to miss a turn. Heaven forbid should you have to like go a minute up the road and pull a U-turn. Heaven forbid should you have to like, you know, turn off in the other direction, turn around in a parking lot and come back. Like, it's not the end of the world. I don't get people doing suicidal stuff. Florida's Heaven's waiting room. Yeah, but I don't want it to be Heaven's waiting room for me. Okay? Like, I get it. I get it for other people, just not for me. Let's see if Zerktoria is that good. Oh, she's fine. Like, I'll be able to do the node. This is just going to not be a 3-turn. You bought the Setheno hunting squad? I guess. Wow, double buster roll. Probably killed the first 2 here. Where the Asian woman goes, how much signal do I need to cross 8 lanes of traffic? None? Okay, good luck everyone else. Yeah. 3 turns per wave? No, probably about 2. But technically, isn't everywhere Heaven's waiting room? Yes. And it drove me insane. Yeah, I definitely don't like being like logjam traffic. It happens all the time down here, sadly. But it's I obviously prefer to be like moving instead of that, and I will even take routes that take me longer if I think it will avoid unnecessary like stop and go, like a slalom course weaving through traffic. I I don't get people like that either, right? Like I said, like speeding to me isn't the problem. It's erratic driving. It's making maneuvers that literally are unexpected and dangerous. That is where I feel like 10 out of 10 accidents happen. It's usually not because the person was driving fast. It's usually because they were making stupid decisions. Like basically you could slow that car down and it would still be making stupid decisions is the problem. The speed just makes it deadlier. I heard people had the idea of making rental cars that do annoying stuff when the driver doesn't pay the subscription and can even drive itself back to the concierge. Dude, I like that sounds like a hellscape in and of its own right? Like we're gonna go ahead and do this just to get the cooldown on the skills, but she might kill anyways. Your second job on the road is to be predictable. The first is not dying, my dad. Yeah, pretty much, right? Like I think a lot of people don't realize that they're doing something unexpected, and when you do something unexpected, the car that you think is going to do something that is expected might also do something unexpected. And if you both do something unexpected, you're in trouble. Like that's basically what happens. And it's like somebody usually like it's part of the reason that I get so upset is because when I see someone do something incredibly asinine and dumb, I get like upset because I go like, holy crap, if I had just done something different right there, I might be in the hospital or something like that, right? Like, but thankfully I'm usually a very observant driver. I was at least like given a defensive driving course. Also, I was taught by my father basically, and he was a pretty good teacher. But like, I got put through a defensive driving course by my parents, and the dude taught me basically the concept of just always like rotating through your mirrors, keeping awareness of what's going on around you, looking ahead in traffic, looking at the sides of the road, seeing what's upcoming, basically always being aware. And in doing that, God, it has saved me so many times. So many times through like not me, but like other people doing crazy stuff. There you go, chat. 6 turns. Called it. 2 turns per wave. We already do not own most digital stuff. Yeah. If you miss a payment, it drives itself back to the lot. Yeah, but I think that's just freaking wild, right? And I feel like until something like that becomes commonplace, you're just asking to freak people out and get the cops called on your self-driving car with no driver, right? Like somebody is going to start being like, whoa, what is that? You can't do that. And so I think that'll just result in a lot of like confusion and issues. Okay. Chat, there is nothing else to do in FGO for the night, so we are going to switch over to Infinite Wealth. We've been playing Helldivers the past couple days, and I'd like to at least make some more progress in Infinite Wealth. But like I said, we'll probably have more Helldivers this weekend. Do you listen to music in your car? Yes, most of the time. Like I'm old school, I'll just listen to the radio a lot of the time, but I have enough radio stations in my area that like if they go to commercial or some bullshit like that, I just switch off. And I think nowadays most of the radio stations know not to be intrusive with commercials because I think like they've basically realized that people do that. They just switch the channel the more they play. Okay, let me get out my gamepad here. So, chat, when last we played, we were literally in the middle of what amounted to Animal Crossing in this game. It's actually kind of wild. You can see we have the ability to like start up a resort. I think I am going to progress one day in this just because like it's kind of a thing here where like I'm waiting on the first guest to come through. But like this game is wild that they've managed to put so much in here. Okay, so I also need to catch 3 fish. I need to craft 1 item.
Gotcha.
I got my Dondo bug. Yep, no problem. Oh my god, there's a garbage truck. I actually like wonder, is this a functioning bus stop? Like I actually have no idea. Fashionable health center? I only ask because I find the stereo really distracting. I'm pretty good with it. Like, it doesn't bother me too much. Because, like, I'm somebody that you guys know, like, I basically am good with all types of music. So, it doesn't bother me too much to, like, oh my god, a mahjong table. To, like, listen to different forms of music. So, I can always find something on that I'm just like, oh, this is a nice tune. Let's see. So we gotta destroy 5 rocks, catch 3 fish.
Nice.
Got it. A salmon.
Gotcha.
Oh my god, it stopped like right before.
Nice.
Oh, apparently that was a nicer one.
Gotcha.
That was also a nicer one. This is like the only way to get affection in this.
Gotcha.
But don't worry, we're not going to do this the whole time, chat.
Nice.
Modern day Yakuza games have become a collection of celebrities. That Tomizawa dude that mugged you, he's a vocal lead of King Gnu. Really? I mean, I'm not surprised though. Like, they're very popular games over in Japan. Okay, that's all the Dondoko dailies. I can hear people up there on that that path, but I don't think I can do anything at this yet. Oh, this is the hills. Yeah, I'm sorry. These guys are not hard to defeat. Oh, set the storage. So you can do like a charge up swing, but I've already determined that that's just like not worth. Holy crap, I need a bunch of Dondoko bucks for that. Are you using a knife to catch fish? It was a harpoon. A harpoon.
What'll it be today?
$150 for the next bat upgrade. I don't have it. Lighter and easier to aim. What's the bug net do? Swing faster. You'll be able to catch bugs like a pro. I don't know that either of these upgrades are actually worth, so I'm just gonna hold off on them. Like if they gave you a chance at catching higher rarity stuff, I think that's worth, but I think as is, neither of those upgrades are actually good.
Gotcha bean.
Wait, where's the other monster?
Welcome.
I can sell? Yeah, I still don't know, like, do any of these bugs actually serve a purpose? Or are they just, like,
Thank
sellable?
you very much.
Okay, we got that. Got that. Some are using crafting, but mostly selling. Yeah, that's what I figured. Wait, how do I zoom in? Oh my god. Doko bucks up. I like legitimately don't care about the aesthetics of the island, sadly. I just like put shit down to improve. Island's theme is now rustic. Yeah, like I have no idea what's actually good to sell.
Hey there.
Make Doko bucks, yeah. Is there a way you can tell like what makes good Doko bucks?
Hope to see you again soon.
Oh, god damn it.
Thank you very much.
I'm basically just waiting on the day to end. I guess I could go just manually end it, but...
Where do I put this? I'd say I outdid myself.
Is that a taco mask?
Where do I put this?
Pawn shop?
Brand spanking new. I'd say I outdid
I
myself.
hope like I can use these myself. A urinal, sweet. Ramen cart, okay. Oh, this is elegant.
Brand spanking new.
Sleazy? Why is that sleazy? Oh god, that requires gold ore and pearls. See, like, that I have no idea how to get. Where'd the ramen cart go?
Where do I put this?
Okay. My god, why is that so freaking big? Place path? Checkered marble. Okay, place path. My god. Hmm. Okay, we'll continue the path. Somehow I'm getting Doko bucks literally just from placing things, which is weird. I don't know why these buildings are so flipping big. It's a building? No, I know, but they're like multi-story buildings, right? Like, it's kind of wild. Like, now this place just feels like I built a bunch of, like, fucking skyscrapers in here. Let's see, I also need to go clear stuff out. I can't build a bridge there, which probably means I can't build it in the other location. Oh, is this considered hills as well? Hmm? Been waiting for you, Ichiban Kasuga. Heard all about you from our captain. He assigned me to safeguard this here area, see, and if you want it back, you better batter up and get to swinging. All right, you asked for it. Here's your eviction notice. Kasuga, not one to mince words.
Knock it off! Hey, stop! Get lost, will ya? I'll beat you! This is awesome!
Hit and run. Oh my god. The only thing I'm hitting is the garbage. Oh, he got me.
Knock it off!
Okay, easy. Nobody said you'd be this strong. Want to go again? I still got energy to spare. To hell with that. I'm through here. Just wait till the Marauder and the Invader hear of this. They're both ridiculously strong. No way they'll let you off easy. Fine by me, I'll take them both down. You won't be so smug when we and the boys come back to trash this place. I mean, I don't think he can. It's already trash.
Hey! Gotcha.
Okay, that was a moth. Like, it's sad that this is actually just straight up faster than doing their charge. Because it shouldn't be, but it is. And part of the issue is that, like, the charge attack is just so, like, so much wind up. So, like, it misses. Because it does, like, a huge, like, spin move. Captain Planet approves the beatdown. Same. Oh, gold ore. There we go. Dondoko stone. A scorpion. So it looks like there's at least different materials in different areas. You guys an idea about how the charge attack works? That's what I had to do, so I had to power it up that long to do it.
Nice.
As opposed to just, like, kind of having it. Vicious person sighted.
Get lost, will ya? Clean.
You can get spotted all you want. You're still getting beaten down. Yeah, I was literally already heading home. Fuck is the scorpion doing in Hawaii? Don't worry about it. Chat, behold my swanky abode. Now complete with cafe table. Which will go right next to my rocking horse. Which is just stupid. Oh, looks like I get another heart because of this. Yes, give me rest. So now we should actually have some visitors to the quote-unquote park. And it's only day 5. We've already managed to progress all this much. Which, like I said, Chad, I just wanted to see what the getting of the visitors was like. We actually haven't invited them yet, so now's the time to figure out whether or not to accommodate their lodging request. You have the honor of deciding. After all, you were the one who arranged the lodgings. I think it's only right you get to choose. I always ask each applicant what they want out of their stay. The more you fulfill their request, the more satisfied they'll be. So bear with that in mind when inviting guests. Every guest will have requests that, once fulfilled, will boost their approval. Requests will fall into one of the following categories: satisfying activities on the island, quality of guest lodgings, type of furnishings on the island, preferred specialities. Be sure to check everyone's requests when choosing who to invite.
Let's make it happen, team.
遊びに来たよ。
Okay, so he's got $10,000 or Doko bucks, I'm not sure which. Homeless man from Japan. How does he have that much money? He lives life to the fullest even with no coin. Okay, so basically he'd lodge at a place that's at least F. An island only needs to be at 800 satisfaction to be perfect. Sleazy things are the best. I hope to get to see one. I'd love to see a Dondoko stone.
羽を伸ばしに来ました。
Elegant things, at least one of them. Starfish are so cool because they look like stars. 900 F rank. A freeloader.
すごく楽しみ。
A backpacker, so she wants 1200. Rustic furnishings are great. Be nice if there were 3. Dondoko mollusk is delicious.
いい場所だね。
White tank top goes with the blue skies. 1500 satisfaction. Dondoko mushroom is real tasty, so he wants E rank lodgings, which we do have. So I'm gonna guess that's like the only people that we could take. So wait, clear out the hills to unlock fields, caves. Looks like you can fit 3 people. Well, we're naturally going to take the 3 best. So basically, that's just an easy win. We're not going to take the homeless guy because I don't know how the homeless guy has money. Just say. Okay, so still got to clear out the lighthouse and the hills. Here's the map. So these 2 are next. Gachapin Beach? That's probably where he was. I didn't go down there. Okay, so we gotta increase the resort rank for that. I like how the island already looks like a trash heap.
Welcome to Dondoko.
いい場所だね。
羽を伸ばしに来まし
す
た。
ごく楽しみ。
No stop till we reach the top.
The top.
Oh god. It's a big step forward. We've always done up to 3 overnight, 3-day overnight tours, which means everyone checks out on the 3rd morning. Satisfied guests leave a bigger tip for their stay. You have 3 days time to give the guests the vacation of a lifetime. If they leave satisfied, you get an even greater tip when they check out. A portion of that will be converted into dollars. What do you mean a portion? Give me the entire tip. Guest approval will go up when you fulfill their 4 requests. You can also raise guest approval by greeting them with an emote, using Square, or giving them presents. So you can spend money to make money. That's stupid. You can gift anything. That's a Dondoko Island speciality. But souvenirs in particular can give satisfaction an even greater boost. Lastly, please be aware that inappropriate conduct such as hitting guests with your bat will lower guest approval. Damn. Please be kind and courteous to others. Thank you. Every guest will have a different budget. Some of the larger budget may tip more at checkout. However, it'll be much more difficult to fulfill their requests. Be careful when choosing which guest to invite to an island, and keep that in mind that guests who leave satisfied will come back as regulars with an even bigger budget. Guest approval will be displayed on the figure to the left with the overfollowing values: dissatisfied, unmoved, satisfied, pleased, or overjoyed. If your guests are dissatisfied by the 2nd day, then they will depart the next morning. Putting icons, dissatisfied guest, no lodgings. These icons indicate a problem that needs to be addressed. Otherwise, the guest may leave before the tour is over. Raise guest approval or build new lodgings before the problem gets worse. Wealthier guests have larger budgets, but their requests are more difficult to fulfill. We can build new lodgings. Interesting. Present icons has yet to receive a souvenir today. Wants a souvenir. Received a souvenir. Know that gifting a souvenir to someone who wants one will greatly increase satisfaction. Has yet to be greeted. Okay, so god damn it. Like, this is actually really annoying. You have to actually greet each one of them. This is tedious AF. Oh no, they're here to tear our shit down. Oh, okay. Or you're not. They strike while a tour is in progress. If they're not sent packing within the day, your guests will leave in the middle of the tour. If there's an attack, an alert will broadcast across the island, so always be ready to answer the call. Oh god, dude, what?
And pose. Hey,
こんにちは
aloha.
どうも何しようかな
Okay, so there's two of them. Why are you dissatisfied?
Hey,
He wants a Dondoko mushroom. Okay. What did she want? She wants a mollusk and he wants a starfish. So this is what you got to use them for. Dude, why are they like already in the dissatisfied portion? Like they haven't even done anything. And I keep seeing that they're like satisfied, so I don't get this.
hey, stop. Knock it off.
Raw Rubior.
Get lost, will ya? Yeah. Time.
As long as you fulfill all 4 requirements, you don't have to greet them. Oh, that's good. But I mean, it still means you gotta go up to them and give them shit, so... Do I have to like do that every single day? Like give them an item every day? Cause like that's fucking Monka ass. A Yeti fossil. The heck is that?
Gotcha. Nice.
A big C. I also like how it was censored. Oh, another scorpion.
Nice.
A gnat. A gnat with a gnome. That was easy. Oh, the invader dropped Doko bucks.
Gotcha.
Can I craft this?
Brand spanking new.
Kyushu #1 star. Yep. Good, at least they're spending money. I suppose that is a good thing. Now there's like a friggin' Starbucks there. Oh, a green scooter. That's where the dolphin is. My God. The fucking perspective is playing tricks on me.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Nice.
A what? That is the actual name of the fish. I remember it, but I do not remember how to say it.
Gotcha. Nice. Gotcha. Nice.
Okay. We just need the resources from the collection point. Oh, I was about to say, can I not go through there? That's wild if there's like an invisible wall for that.
Ooh, big one. They build satisfaction, good. I need them to build popularity though. That's the shit one to get. Hope to see you again soon.
Upgrade my bat.
Thanks.
That's gonna get a hell of annoying after a while.
Hey, stop! Yes, sir. Knock it off. Get lost, will ya?
Easy. Okay. Yeah, after we do this, we'll head back, because I just, like, I don't want to spend all stream here. They just, they kind of keep, like, stringing you along with, it's like, but wait, one more thing. Okay. Let me see how much it actually costs to clear one of these. That's 280. I probably shouldn't have upgraded the bat, but like, to me, the bat is everything. It's how fast you attack. It's how fast you clear. So it kind of matters. And that's 200. I can deposit resources in the thing, right? Yeah.
Hey, a rare one.
Yeah, I gotta get that rare one. A silver spider. Like, I assume the guests are just gonna keep having more and more unreasonable demands. And as you keep building more lodgings, they're also going to be, like, more and more unreasonable. Yeah, it just looks like I can't build any bridges until the resort rank is increased. Was that gold ore? A gold cockle? Basically becoming nighttime. I'm surprised they didn't attack the lodgings. Okay. Easy turn in. I don't have anything else to place. All vending machines or build other commercial facilities, you'll be able to earn extra income. Rustic, sleazy, pop, or elegant. Okay. Cabaret Club? I agree with that.
Oh.
What's funny to me is like, who the hell works these facilities? Okay.
Let's make it a good day, huh?
Let's have fun today.
Real exciting stuff, you see?
So at the end of this day, if they're still dissatisfied, like, bro, how the fuck are they supposed to get satisfied? Like, I fulfill all of their requirements, and they're still just like
Okay, let's see.
Let's
not
make
making
the
any
most of
progress. It's building over time. Yeah, but it said if it's not past like the disappointed status, it's gonna like basically just they'll just leave at the end of today.
What to do?
Well,
For real? Hey,
This is a specialist.
Yes.
Not biologically. I've never been with a woman. Goddamn. Oh, he was abandoned. Sweet. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's touching. I'm not sure I care. This is why I'm kind of like skipping through this chat. I'm still reading, but it's like... Okay, so the kid's actually apparently incredibly intelligent.
totally.
And the kid just wants a soap land, which I can get behind.
Wow.
Yeah, why don't we have soap lands here in the States?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Because we don't enjoy fun baths,
Hip, hip,
I see.
hooray.
It's true. We are kind of stinky, chat. Dude, what? A seashell bikini? All right, let's try it. What does it do? Do I craft it like it's a furnishing? Requires mollusks. So it doesn't look like it costs me anything. It just looks like they can be sold.
Little souvenir for you.
So I wonder if they're gonna like buy it on their own.
Grow up strong, all right?
Okay. This is the use for a lot of stuff you collect, and that's the gifts you give to guests. Yeah. I just wish the inventory wasn't an issue. Like, I see no point to it. Oh, good. She finally ratcheted up the video.
Totally. What's next?
Okay, so he now has a knockback. Dolphin. Hyper Suji Munch. Okay, so like, yeah, so this is the point that you don't know go from. All right, now we can actually save. Because like, holy cow. So like, does Animal Crossing also have that issue, chat? Like with bad inventory space? Uh-oh. Oh, okay. It cutscened me there, so I thought it was going to end up being an actual, like, enemy.
What are you looking at? Get wrecked.
Ready to roll.
Full power.
Okay, so everyone's, like, rank 12-ish. Animal Crossing inventory is terrible. Is there not like upgrades that you can get?
It's not a show, shithead.
You're right, it's not a show.
Full power.
It's a beatdown.
Oh, hold on. I'll take you down.
Ready to roll.
Full power.
I've heard that sadly enough, combat is the best way to gain money. But it's combat in the like infinite labyrinth with like monetary things equipped. Apparently that's like the best way. I think that's the shrine.
I'm feeling great.
I think, or is it? Am I misremembering? The shrine over here? No. Shrine should be here.
What are you looking at? I'll sue you.
So it's like you will see me just purposely run into guys just to easily beat them, but sadly these dudes are not actually really worth. This was a large group of them, so yeah, there you go, 26 from it. Where the F is the shrine? Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, thank God, these guys are now too low of level. These guys were annoying to fight, so I'm glad they're now able to be smacked down. They also give decent money.
What? I'll be collecting your dust.
And they're like really thick in here. So he doesn't get into real estate or something to make bank. No, I mean apparently Dondoko does allow you to like get money, but it's only like really the first time you do everything on the island gets you a lot of money. After that, it just like doesn't. Hey chat, we'll have to try here.
There you go.
Boom, baby.
Peace offering.
Perfect.
What's it?
All right. You can count on me.
Got him. We just caught a Sujimon, chat. Which is I think it's like literally what, Degen or whatever.
Let's go talk to the fortune point dude. Okay. We have 80 points. You apparently, in order to get more, have to like just keep going out and coming back in. It's actually kind of annoying. Perfect guards evade attacks entirely. Decreases the input window for perfect guards. That's not bad. Recover MP at the start of the turn. That's a nice one. That's actually really good. I'm gonna have to try to get that.
This ain't a show, dipshit.
Listen, I know it's not a show, dipshit.
You gonna cry for my... Okay, you asked for it.
It's not gonna be me crying for mommy. It's gonna be you. Mr. Level 8 talking shit.
All right.
Still good to go.
What is this? Can I invite you to Dondoko Island? I journeyed here from Japan to spread the way of the ninja. Alas, after weeks, my efforts have borne no fruit. Had these whereabouts been sexier to further accentuate my charm, it would have been far more facile to demonstrate a ninja's allure. Why not come to Dondoko Island? It's a newly opened resort, the ultimate getaway. No better place to spread the way of the ninja. What an adorable name. Were I to exhibit my shuriken skills there, my ninja arts are sure to be known far and wide. My name is Kyoko, and soon I shall cross the seas to set foot on Dondoko. Until then, my liege. So I guess you can recruit people that you find out in the world to go back to Dondoko. That's actually an interesting mechanic, and I kind of like that. Because it adds more to the exploration. I think my only issue at this point is that, like, everything adds to the exploration of the game. It's kind of wild.
Awesome. That should do it for the upload. The video turned out really good, too. You sure know how to put on a show, Ichiban. You'd think you do this for a living.
I don't know if I mention it, but despite my looks, I did run for an election once.
An election? For what?
I mean, like a real election.
And this wasn't for student council or something?
If they elected me, I would have been a politician.
Seriously? Good grief, man. Is there anything you haven't done?
Whoa, no way. We already got a DM. Wonder who from.
What? Don't tell me it's from Akane-san.
Nope. Some guy named Eiji. He wants to know if we can meet him somewhere.
Eiji? Wait a sec. You mean Achan?
Yep.
So we caught Achan's attention at least. Tomizawa, you remember, right?
I'm telling you, like, one of them is going to be the
Wheelchair who
kid.
chased you off when we first met?
Oh, him. Yeah, I remember.
So, what's the plan? You want to meet up with him?
That all right with you, Kiryu-san? He's a buddy that helped me out my first day here. Knowing him, I'm sure he's just worried about me.
Sure. We've got nothing pressing right now. Why not?
In
Awesome,
before he's
thanks.
mob boss chat.
Okay, yeah, let's take him up on that.
Alright, I'll ask where's best for him. He said over by the Anaconda Shopping Center.
Ah,
That should be fine, yeah?
Yeah, no problem.
his anaconda don't want none.
Now, where's Akane-san? It's too bad we can't meet her this easily.
Okay. So, you want me to now go all the way over there? Fine, but only with a car. Okay. We got Chiome just like in FGO. Yes, Chitose.
Well, so interestingly enough, if you're referring to the girl that I just recruited, sure, but I also have Chitose here, who's also dressed like a ninja, because that's her actual class at the moment. Hence my confusion.
Kasuga-san! Yo, H-on! I'm glad you reached out. Good to see you, buddy.
Kasuga-san, didn't this guy... He tried to rob you, right?
Yeah, lots happened since. This is Tomi. And this is your first time meeting these two, I'm sure.
Hello. I'm still confused. You're friends with him now? After all he did to you?
Yep.
Ah, let's find a place to sit back and I'll fill you in.
I see. So, you still haven't met your mother. Not only that, but the city's gangs are after her.
I don't know if I should even call her my mother. Still trying to figure that out, too.
So, Akane-san's being pursued by the Barracudas. And Yamai's still in the picture as well?
And let's not forget the Daidoji faction from Japan. They got business with her too. Right?
The Daidoji faction?
They were set to run nearly all of Japan at one point. I'm here to find Akane-san on their orders.
I see.
He's like, what the fuck,
yeah,
man?
I still haven't introduced them. This is Kazuma Kiryu-san. He took great care of me back in Japan.
Hello. I'm Mitamura.
Right. And this is Chi-chan.
I'm Chitose Fujinomiya. Pleased to meet you.
Chitose-san, was it? Yes, pleasure to meet you as well.
Yeah, this is weird.
Well, I must say, you've gathered up quite a party since we last met.
Yeah, Hawaii's blessed me with all sorts of friends. Of course, that includes you too, H-chan. Not sure if I would have made it on my own.
They have
That's the
some
only one that's
connection.
ever said that to me, Kasuga-san. Flattery or not, I'm honored.
Nah, I'm not one for flattery personally.
Well then, is there anything I might help you out with?
Huh?
It's just, I've already gone this far. And I know the internet. I figure I can be of at least some use.
Hey, I appreciate it, but... H-chan, don't you have your own life and stuff to worry about?
Right. I hadn't mentioned it, had I?
Oh, did he get fired?
What?
The truth is, I lost my job over in Japan.
There it is.
That's why I came back here. Naturally, I feel awkward going home. If it's no trouble, Kasuga-san, I'd like to be a part.
No trouble at all, but, I can't promise there won't be trouble later. Like I said, there's a few gangs involved.
Kasuga,
What's up?
be glad you didn't make that promise. We're surrounded.
He's not kidding. Check it out. They're all looking our way.
Yeah, they are. We've met before.
Damn, I feel bad for these guys.
I don't think so. This is someone else. Yanja, maybe.
Yanja?
It's unlikely you've heard of them, Kasuga-san. They're Chinese mafia. They often have turf wars with the Barracudas.
First the Barracudas, now the Chinese Mafia? Hawaii's just full of surprises, isn't it?
Yeah, if only you knew someone in the
closer.
Chinese mafia.
Looks like there's about 20 of them.
What do you think they want?
Who knows?
What do you think they want?
Either
To
way.
beat you?
It doesn't seem like they'll let us go. They made sure to surround us before closing in. This was planned out.
Ichiban Kasuga, how about you come with us? The rest of you are free to go. We've only got business with him.
Shame we didn't make the cut.
We're looking for this woman. With luck, we'll put some heat on her son and she'll come crawling out.
Is that Akane-san? They're looking for her too?
What the hell? Who is this woman?
Huh. So these guys bid first.
Huh?
If the others would care to leave, now's your chance. This is your final warning.
You ready for this, Kasuga? It's pretty clear there's no other way out.
Wait, they should know Kasuga's the son if they saw the video.
All right, let's throw down.
Unless they're looking for a different son, which is why I'm beginning to think that AG is the son. Because
I'm up. Here we go.
Right on.
Care to dance?
Be honored.
well, that was worth.
Brace yourself.
Wait, what? I wasn't in control of that.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Where you looking? You might get hurt.
It did like combo moves for everyone.
Now then.
Ready for the knockout?
Let's finish this.
I'm so confused. Is it like auto playing?
Time to go all out.
Yeah, I think it was. Okay.
Ass kicking time.
Well, that was easy.
Okay.
You're in it now. Fall en gueule, va. Let's get it done.
It's time.
God damn, man. No chill.
Allow me.
Sure, I'll play with you.
No, I mean, like, the fact that this has it, it's a turn-based, like, action game.
Okay, I'm up.
Should tell you that, like, man, why can't, like, Genshin or something do it?
Ass kicking time.
Screw that guy in particular.
Looks like I'm up.
You're in it now.
Oh, no, he's weak.
Here we go.
Wow, and that qualified as a back attack. You can kind of, like, game the system because of that.
Let's get it done.
Oh, wow. He actually hit him into the other dude, too.
Okay, I'm up.
Yeah, these guys were, like, jokes. Oh, man, and $400 cash. He's always his favorite skill, gun, yes.
I'm a fast learner.
Why is everyone chasing after Akane-san? What do you plan to do once you find her?
We're just doing what we were told. I don't know the reason, but I do know what we're gonna do to you.
Say what?
No matter where you run, where you hide, we'll find you, we'll slice you up till there's nothing left.
I was gonna say, that's, like, not a thing to say to somebody that, like,
You
kicked
don't have
your
time
ass.
for that kind of talk, Kasuga. If I had to guess, these guys are just grunts. They don't know a damn thing. We'll be in trouble if more of them come. Better move while we can.
I'm sorry to rope you into all this, Achan. No way I can leave you alone now, though. Mind sticking with us for a while?
Sure.
He's done well hiding it. Yeah, I agree with that,
was my
Goblin.
plan.
We should head back to my room for now. Let's
Like,
get a
the
cab.
only reason why I say that is because Chitose seems to recognize him, and he doesn't seem to recognize Chitose, which is probably because Chitose, like, maybe worked with her. But no, I mean, like, he said he's originally from Japan, so I don't know. Maybe that's not the case, but, like, there's something here that doesn't add up, that's for sure. Him and Chitose have some sort of relationship.
Thanks.
I'm telling what might happen. I should grab what I need, then hurry back to Achan. I mean, grab what I need. I'm not sure I need much. I don't know that he's necessarily hiding it, just that, like, Chitose recognizes him, right?
Aloha.
Wait, is that a 7-star? Holy crap. I didn't realize there were 7-star items.
Thank you.
That's kind of wild.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Sure.
Chitose still sus for me. Oh yeah, like she was on the phone basically, like saying that she was just trying to get closer. That they trusted her now. So like, she's always been playing an angle. I think she was always playing an angle even against the Barracudas.
Hold up, Ichiban.
Huh? First the Ganja, and now it's Yamai.
Like she may be working with Yamai.
Best to assume they found our hideout.
Kasuga-san, behind you!
Allow me to introduce myself. I come from Kamurocho. Some would call it the armpit of Tokyo, Japan. Born and raised from the sons of an inner-city soapland, the name's Ichiban Kasuga. Some have even called me the hero of Yokohama. Separated from my mother at birth, I am now on a quest to find her.
Hawaii's treating you well, I see. But what does that matter? I'm here for this one. It's a great honor to meet you, Kazuma Kiryu-san.
Kiryu? Never heard of him.
And he's a terrible liar, just as they say. My thanks. Now I don't have any doubts. You are the real Kazuma Kiryu, all right.
Yeah, and you're gonna get your butt
I'll
kicked
agree
if
with
he's
you.
actually the
He is
real
a bad
one.
Liar.
And here I thought I'd gotten better.
I knew you wouldn't die so easily. I just knew it. And to think I'd run into you here of all places. The head of Kazuma Kiryu. What better trophy than the head of a dragon?
You sound like an ancient barbarian. And their age is dead. Gone. As far as death goes, it could be our turn any minute.
Well said. It's coming for you right now. Try not to disappoint me, Kazuma Kiryu!
Okay, you asked for it.
Yeah, this you're definitely gonna be disappointed.
Prepare yourself!
Oh, come on, bring it. Want some?
Now then,
Looks like I'm up.
Sure, I'll play with you.
Raising your drunken.
I'll take you on. Here I come. Little sipper for you?
Okay, so I didn't get him poisoned. That's unfortunate.
Ready when you are.
Dude, I hate when like people just back up so you can't hit them.
Ready for the knockout? Your luck's right.
Oh, I missed. Dude, what? You get that twice?
Something wrong.
Don't get caught.
I'll take you on.
Okay, he actually did get paralyzed. Sweet. Paralyzing the boss is kind of huge.
Something wrong?
Illegal spearing.
Ready when you are.
Open wide.
Oh, that was not bad.
All right.
Allow me. Nothing personal. Your luck's right.
Still can't hit him with that bleed.
Ass kicking time.
Okay, we're just gonna pummel the shit out of him, I think. He's still... Looks like he broke the paralysis. Oh, no, he's back into it.
Here we go.
Let's get it done.
I don't know how that, like, didn't hit him into someone else, but I guess he, like, doesn't fall down always. There we go. Nice and easy. Yep, 400 more there, and a free level up.
Learning more every day.
Pine Bamboo Plum. I feel like that's like a anachronism for something.
You really are a dragon. At least, that's what I'd like to believe. That was fun, but I think I expected too much. Tell me, are you really Kazuma Kiryu?
So now he doubts?
Are you really the dragon of Dojima? Seems that you've lost your bite. Or maybe just that your legend's outgrown you.
Sounds like you've got your answer.
Hey, all I know is that you can't lie to save your life.
Hey, Yamai. Don't you ever lay a hand on Tomizawa again. He's with me now, and he's not coming back.
Huh? Who's he?
What?
I tend to forget about things that don't interest me. You hear that? I just hope you're the real deal.
Jesus. So he's just a stalker.
All this talk is boring me. Can't wait for the next one. Maybe then the beast will bare its fangs. Now, take care.
See, now why let him walk off? Just beat his ass again. Be like, how many times we gotta teach you this
Let's
lesson?
go. That's it?
Yeah, I guess. Yamai's only got eyes for Kiryu-san now, apparently.
Hey, so, you think we'll be okay going back to Kiryu-san's room?
No, we should probably try a change of scenery.
So get a new hotel.
No. Remember, we're dealing with the Barracudas and Gansha now. They'll both be looking for us. Hawaii's small too. A hotel won't guarantee our safety, no matter where it is.
But then where are we supposed to go?
The Daidoji faction has a safe house here. It's for emergencies just like this.
Are you sure about this? You don't have to take us there.
It's fine. They're always trying to keep everything secret. Time they learn they can't. If it were really that special, they wouldn't have told me. Let's go.
I feel bad. You've come through for us again and again.
You can repay me later. Now, come on.
Indeed.
So this is the safe house?
Yeah. There should be plenty of space. Even with all of us, we'll likely fit just fine.
Guess this apartment was the only thing they built, huh? Looks like it, at least.
A number of the faction's people will be inside. They're not the nicest guys around, but I trust them.
Got it.
So this must be Ichiban Kasuga.
Who's to say? Hard to give a straight answer to one gun, let alone three.
Fine. Have it your way. It's not like we've got manpower out here. We're basically helpless. As it stands, we can't do much without his cooperation.
Like how Tomizawa's just ready to give
I'll
up.
say this now so you don't get your hopes up. This is all the faction can muster right now.
Huh? It's just you guys? That's, what, 4 people?
I want to close
It's for
the
the sake
door.
of the mission. We want this done without any attention from the U.S. government. They've been stationed here in Hawaii for some time. Only myself and Kiryu-san are here from Japan.
Hanawa.
This is my boss, Hanawa. No clue if that name's real, though.
How intelligent. Not only do you drag outsiders into the mission, you even give them my name. Why am I not surprised?
They're all invaluable when it comes to our success. Besides, we're the closest to getting to Akane-san, aren't we?
Though it pains me to acknowledge it, yes, that is the case.
This is Ichiban Kasuga. And they're...
Tomizawa-san and Chitose-san, right?
Ah, I just met Kiryu-san earlier. I'm Eiji Mitamura.
Greetings. The Daidoji faction offers you sanctuary. However, we ask one thing in return. Please tell us everything you know about Akane-san. We too wish to find her and keep her safe. As it stands, we share a common goal.
You're letting us use this place. We'll help out.
I feel like that's not what Kiryu alleged earlier.
Kasuga-san, I must say, I enjoyed that video of yours.
Hey, thanks.
Regrettably, its success carries a high price. You've now advertised yourself to threats all over Hawaii. Furthermore, you're no closer to Akane-san than before.
Then how are we the
All you
closest?
really did was multiply the enemies you stood to gain, perhaps even tenfold.
Yeesh, that's harsh.
Kasuga. It's probably about time you told them, huh?
What?
Told us?
What do you mean?
Kasuga, when we first talked about shooting the video, you asked if there were groups other than the Barracudas. Right there, I could tell you had another goal in mind. Not only that, but it seemed like you anticipated that Ganja and Yamai would show up.
Huh? Is that true?
Amazing, Kiryu-san. Of course you'd figure me out. The goal of that video, like we planned, was to have Akane-san come find us.
But it's also to get everyone off of
That
Akane-san.
would have been our best case scenario. But apart from that, I was hoping for something else.
And to find out who's
Video
tracking
did its
her.
job. then we'd see everyone who's involved in this mess.
There you go.
Huh? What do you mean?
A guy named Ichiban Kasuga plops down in Hawaii. He's looking for his long-lost mother. That info might have drawn attention. And if anyone was gonna come after us because of it, well, they'd probably be pretty clued in on everything, right?
That's true. Ichiban made it very clear who his mother was. Anyone interested would have to be after the same Akane-san. No one would care otherwise.
Exactly. What's more, they would know I exist. They would have already known she's got a son. And if you didn't know all that, you wouldn't bother hunting me down. Now, as to where we stand with everyone. The Barracudas, most likely due to Tomi's threats, are out of the picture. Yamai jumped us after seeing the video, but he's now completely zeroed in on Kiryu-san. He didn't say one word about Akane-san.
That's true. Hard to imagine that was an act.
Right. That means there's only one group at play here. Only one had all the pieces. That's the Ganja. No mistaking it. They know things. Things about Akane-san that even we don't.
Huh.
Ah, that's right. This has been bugging me this whole time. Looking back on it, didn't the Ganja guys know Ichiban was Akane's son?
We're looking for this woman. With luck, we'll put some heat on her son and she'll come crawling out.
Oh, whoa. Yeah, they must have.
Right. Hanawa-san, it's true the best result would have been getting Akane's attention, and that was the plan. But regardless, we still managed to get a new lead. That's gotta be good for something, right?
I see. Yes, well, I suppose things did work out once all was said and done. However, I ask that you refrain from pulling a stunt like that again.
I don't think he'll have to.
I'll be more careful from now on.
Well, that's a relief. But man, you should have told us. We're a team, all right?
Hey, I would have felt stupid if it didn't work. You only fill people in if you pull it off.
Hey, no fair.
Now, just where are the Ganja getting their info?
That's the question. Captain Sawashiro's been in Ijincho the whole time, and I've only told the people here about it.
On that note,
AG.
It's possible there was a leak from somewhere or someone close to Akane-san. Whatever the case, asking the Ganja ought to clear things up.
AG knew who the
Figure out
Ganja
the
were.
source is. Well, we'll be one step closer to
And he's
finding
someone
her.
from Japan, so he
Good
shouldn't.
plan. If you ask me, I say we nab one of their boys and make them spit it out.
Right. Only thing is, we need at least an officer. It won't do us much good if they're kept out of the loop.
They're not an officer, but I know of someone with pretty close ties to the Ganja. The owner of the Nirvana Hotel. He's a local celebrity.
Nirvana Hotel?
Yes. Rumor has it, he's actually the head of the Ganja himself.
Does he smell like Teen
At
Spirit?
least, that's what made its way around the dark web. Just a moment. I'll find a picture.
Also, things don't make their way around the dark web.
Wong To.
Because you have to have an actual
Wong To
address to go to
seems
some
be a
place on the
highly
dark
valued
web.
Individual when it comes to the wealthy hiding their assets in Hawaii. On top of that, the Ganja rapidly expanded right around the time he opened the Nirvana Hotel. Wong To is, in all likelihood, an officer within their ranks, maybe higher.
Then does that mean the Nirvana Hotel's our next stop?
That would be reckless. As it's been said, the Nirvana Hotel is the Ganja's prime base of operations on the island. They've no doubt got it under lock and key, and Wong To is much sharper than Dwight.
So it makes District 5 look like a walk in the park. Is that it? All right. But with every second, Hawaii's gangs inch closer to finding Akane-san.
I feel like he
before us.
just said wrong toe.
Hanawa-san, there's gotta be something, right? Is there any way we can get close to Wong To?
Well, there's no guarantee it will work. But there is one thing you might try.
So you do know a way. Why didn't you say so from the beginning?
I'll tell you why. Because it's wholly and highly unrealistic. However, seeing as it's all you've got, I'll fill you in. Supposedly, deep within the Nirvana Hotel, is a secret casino set up exclusively for Hawaii's elite.
Gamba?
Furthermore, Wong To is said to personally serve the guests there.
So if we can get in as guests, we can get in touch with Wong To? We have our finish line. Now how do we cross it?
I don't know, rich girl.
The Nirvana Hotel's not the only casino in town. In fact, they say the Ganja have established similar casinos all over Honolulu.
Okay, I know where a couple of those
If you
are.
can prove you've got the cash at one of those, there's a good chance the Nirvana Hotel will open its doors. They're not so stupid as to let go of an easy mark like that.
So if we want to meet the Major League coach, we first got to prove ourselves in the minors. Is that right? Sheesh, you sure set the bar high.
So these minor league casinos, where exactly are they?
That's just it. We don't know.
I do.
What?
The local police have been stumped by it too.
How are you
They're
stumped?
sure the casinos are out there, but they can't seem to find any hard
There's like a
evidence.
group of 3 men
Wait,
saying you
really?
can't go to that
Why?
door.
Who knows, man? But at least one thing's clear. The first task on
Melty
our
banners
list,
out.
find one of these phantom casinos.
Yeah, seems like it.
Right. Hey, Chan, what about you?
Actually, is it alright if I stay here? I'll be of more use to Kasuga-san and the others that way, I think.
Sure. I don't mind.
All right.
He also saw your
Just call me if
laptop and he
anything
wanted to
happens.
become laptop buddies with you.
Sup?
Okay, then just how do we go about finding one of these casinos? Where our trusty pal Tommy comes in. As lost as you guys. Wait, huh? Really? If I knew where to go, I'd have been there already. Guess that's fair. Still, they've got to be somewhere in this city. I mean, one of your friends is bound to have heard a rumor or two, right? So how about it? Any of your buddies gamble? Now, let me think. You got this, Tommy, or what do you know? Or what? You don't know your own backyard? Hey, lay off. All right. Why don't we try the sushi place on Sakura Street? I hear the head chef's been known to play a hand here and there. Plus, I guess whenever tourists feeling lucky, he'll point him in the right direction. My hunch is correct. He's definitely kept an open ear. Sounds promising. What have we got to lose? My man Tommy, I knew you'd come through. Okay, the sushi place on Sakura Street, right? Let's head out. All right, chat. That seems like a perfect sign to save the game and end stream for tonight. The cutscenes in this game are always really, really long. That's why I saved them for stream so that you guys don't miss out on the story. And I do like all the grinding off stream. But okay, let me see who all's on tonight. If we got anyone I know. Do 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 do. I do not. So, that we will go ahead and end it here for tonight. Again, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for being here. Tomorrow will be more of the same. So please look forward to it. And like I said, this weekend, I don't have to work on Saturday. So hopefully I will feel up to streaming. If I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. I put it as a day off on the schedule, but I may do it. We do have D&D as well on Sunday. So look forward to that. And then again, obviously, we, have upcoming stuff in FGO. So hope to see you guys soon. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good evening.